Okay, call order. We'll go ahead and do a roll call.
Member Joe Banks resigned today. Bernie Callum. Wood. Arakaki. Absent. Kiga. Glenn.
Here.
Fitch. Anderson. Conley. Absent. Imamura Uru. Clark.
Here.
Mizusawa. Ferguson. Absent. Maeda. And Suji. Chair, you have quorum with 11 members present.
Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening. I am Firefighter 1 Nicholas Hudson from the ʻAiea Fire Station Engine 10, and this is the HFD Neighborhood Board Report for October 2025. The statistics provided below represent confirmed numbers of incidents in the NHB's geographical area for the previous month. For more details on the incidents and related mapping information, please visit the Fire Response Search tool on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Info tab. Should you have any questions, please email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. For any information previously requested, such as incident details, request for an incident report or a specific incident may be made online, fire.honolulu.gov/requests-for-information. Recent incidents may still be under investigation. For homeless encampment concerns, if you suspect an illegal burn, call the HFD to respond and extinguish the fire, and call the HPD for possible legal enforcement. If there are concerns about homeless individuals or groups in your neighborhood that need help, contact the City and County of Honolulu's Crisis Outreach Response and Engagement, or CORE program via email at honolulucore@honolulu.gov, or call the CORE hotline at 808-768-2673 to ask for assistance. This line is for non-emergencies only, and calls will be returned as soon as possible. Incident statistics for September of 2025. There were 0 structure fires, 3 wildland/brush fires, 6 nuisance fires, 0 cooking fires, and 7 activated alarms with no fire. For emergencies, there were 105 medicals, 2 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 12 motor vehicle crashes or collisions, 0 mountain rescues, 0 ocean rescues, and 0 hazardous material incidents. Fire safety tips and announcements. The fire safety tip for this month is seasonal decorations. With the holiday season just around the corner, consider fire-resistant non-combustible decorations. Choose only Underwriters Laboratory approved electrical decorations and follow the manufacturer's instructions for installation and load. Use lights that are in good repair. Always turn off lights before leaving your home or going to bed. Do not overpower or overload power strips, surge protectors, and extension cords, and never leave candles unattended. Secure lighters and matches out of reaches from children. Any questions at this time?
Board members, any questions for, Lawrence?
Okay, there was a fire, I think this past weekend at that new apartment building they put up alongside Aloha Stadium. Was that building fire sprinkled? You know, offhand? Okay, and as far as, I know they said the damages was, I think, 28K. Does that include water damage when you guys put out the fire? Because sometimes the water seeps through different floors.
Damage estimates are based on the fire damage. So if there's any additional damage due to the water damage, that would be factored in separately. That wouldn't be accounted for in the report that goes out to the public.
Okay, so as far as the fire damage, the fire department makes that assessment and gives the costs.
We have a calculator based on average cost of replacement and repair for everything that's updated annually.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ron?
Would the fire department have any data on how many auto car fires there were last year, and also how many electric car fires there were?
That's something that you can request through that website portal. They have it's kind of a new feature that we have now on our website. Go and look up that kind of data on our portal. But if you have a direct question, you can also email the email address on that, the data for you and pull the data for you if you want to play around with the tool.
You good? Okay. Okay. All right. Any other questions, board members? I have a question. So one of the picnic tables at ʻAiea Bay Park was on fire? Are you aware of
There
that?
was an incident where one of the picnic tables that there was a fire on.
Yeah, do you know what the cause of that was?
That was.
Undetermined? Okay. All right. Yep. Community members, any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? Claire?
A small brush fire in that area, again, determined, we don't see base lighting, we can't determine sometimes there's not adequate material to determine what caused it. So at the time, I would, or the captain in charge would try to make the determination on if they could find a cause of it. But in most cases, that kind of thing goes undetermined because whatever evidence does get burned up with brush fire. Sorry.
I think the reason why we're asking these questions is it related to homeless, encouragements, I guess. That's a word.
Yeah, unless there's a specific evidence of that, we can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like the Newtown fires, right? That happened out there.
It's associated with a homeless camp, then sometimes we have that in our reports, but if it's fires that happen that we don't know exactly if it started by.
Okay.
Speculating.
All right, Roger. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, thank you guys for your report. Much appreciated. Okay, Honolulu Police Department.
Okay, good evening. I'm Lieutenant Sakai from the Pro City Police Station, which covers the ʻAiea, Halawa, and Waipahu area. Let's see, I'll read the statistics for the past few months. For September, for motor vehicle thefts, we had 12 motor vehicle thefts in September. In August, we had 12. Burglaries in September, we had 4. In August, we had 8. Thefts, we had 30 in September, and in August, we had 23. And UEMV, so basically car break-ins, September, we had 7, and in August, we had 2. Currently, I'm sure plenty of you have heard about the high amount of fatalities and traffic accidents. So we're continuing to enforce that. So I would suggest probably drive a little safer because we're out there enforcing more than usual, I should say. And also we have on October 25th, they're going to have the Aloha to Aloha Stadium. There'll probably be a lot of traffic. The bands that I see, it starts at 4 in the afternoon. I mean, I don't know how to phrase it, but it's kind of older bands. Hopefully it's a mellower crowd, but we'll be out there and we'll have increased staffing out there for both traffic and for security. So yeah, that's the big things we have going on the next few weeks. So
Will there be any traffic diversions or
right
detours or
now
anything?
we're still working on the plan. We have our major events division. They're kind of figuring out how much people they anticipate. There will be special duty, and we'll also have additional officers from Pro City working.
Okay. Board members, any questions for HPD? Because I know they had a lot of do-outs from the last meeting for us, remember? So I don't necessarily know if they're prepared to give us that. But you go ahead. Go ahead.
Is that the case that you don't have the information from the last meeting that we had asked about? Some of the
We have
cases?
3 questions. One of it was about a robbery investigation at 7-Eleven.
Yes.
I believe so. Right now, the robbery detail has they have made person of interest were identified and arrested on separate charges, and a stolen vehicle for that case was recovered. So they're working. I mean, just because they made the arrest, now it's got to go through the process of the courts. So that's for the robbery.
Those were the people
Sorry.
associated with that robbery?
Yes, believe so. So the robbery, that was in March, right? On 711 on ʻAiea Heights Road, right? Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. And let's see, the other questions we had regarding sidewalk parking on Pono Street. So they have been checking, but they also suggest using the 311 app. I'm sure you guys know how to use that.
No.
If it's so 311 from the App Store, obviously, and then when you download it, you can either report something. So it's basically a non-emergency. So parking, you can either do it anonymously or in person, or leave your name. If you leave your name, we'll respond back to you what happened. 311s tend to be a little slower. Usually we get to it in a few days. You can call 911 for parking. It's fine. We'll still respond. So it just kind of reduces the workload for the officers on the road. But if you feel you need to get it done right away, that's fine. Call 911. That's not a problem. But 311s are more for, it'll take a little longer, but we'll get to it eventually. And
Thank you
the last
for
one-
sharing. First time I heard of 311.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's because I used to, when I was in a different district, we used to work on those. It takes a little longer to get to, but we eventually get to it. Let's see.
Okay.
There was an attempted burglary in Newtown.
No, you
So
didn't
that one-
report. Sir, you
sorry.
bypassed the one parking on the sidewalk. That's the one I reported. And I must say
Oh.
they did haul it, not really haul it away. It became about a week. And he moved his big boat, not a small one. He has a smaller one inside, 2 boats. He took it into his garage, and he has a wrought
Okay.
iron gate. So it's not closed, but at least people can use the sidewalk. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay,
I'm
that's
happy.
good, yeah.
But another thing now,
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Ponocaulique along the loop, there is, when a turn, there's excess grass when they make the fence, and that becomes
Yes.
parking for people who have a lot of cars. And this man
Mhm.
has quite a few. I was told during
Oh.
our teacher strike, that no car could stay 2 days without being moved. And I know those cars never move. What is the law against? It's not an abandoned car, but was there a
It's-
law that says 2 days and the car has
No,
to
it's
move? This way. Yeah,
24
tell me.
24 hours. So one day, 24
Oh.
hours. Yeah, on a public street. On a public street,
Yeah.
you can't leave your car unmoved for 24 hours.
But this is residential and it's,
Yeah.
nobody parks on the curve. So it's like free parking for
Oh.
him, and he doesn't move his car. He never moves.
Yeah, it's definitely sounds like it's at the very least
Oh,
abandoned vehicle, if not
Oh, okay.
illegal
He
parking.
said, the chair mentioned about as long as neighbors don't complain. Well, our area, they don't complain. They're very,
'Cause in
okay,
general,
that I can
Yeah,
stand. but
yeah. But if
there
you
are-
call it
this
in, we'll
man
mark
has
it.
Too many
Right.
cars, and that's his prerogative, I guess. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you still
Okay.
can't be taking all the
Thank you.
parking on the street. Yeah. So.
Thanks, man.
And then,
Sorry, can you?
sorry,
can
last
you
one was about the Newtown. Somebody asked about a Newtown.
Yeah. So I was just going to get to that. There was a question about the Newtown, about a attempted burglary on August 15th.
Yes. So that one, unfortunately, there was no video from the Newtown Estates Community Rec Center. So I'm not sure if they didn't have it or just the video didn't show anything, or there wasn't enough to make a case or to identify a suspect for that case.
Okay. Okay. And who asked that question? Okay. Do you have any follow-up questions? Okay. And then we had another one where it was reported that there was an attempted break-in on June 11th at our home where perpetrators disabled security cameras. Lieutenant Iwasaki advised her to email him with the case details for follow-up.
Yeah, did she email him by chance?
I
'Cause
have no
I don't
idea.
have a res-
Yeah, I
Oh.
don't know. I don't see that resident here, so I think it was a resident
Okay,
that asked that question.
I'll get with Lieutenant Iwasaki and see what happened
Okay.
with that.
Okay. All right, board members, any questions for HPD?
and follow up?
Release,
You-
oh, Russell, go ahead.
Sorry, sir, can you repeat what is occurring on October 25th? What event that was?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I guess I should have been more clear. So it's called the Aloha to Aloha Stadium, and it's at 4 o'clock, and it's on the
What
20th.
is
It starts at
Aloha to Aloha Stadium?
yeah. So they're Yeah, closure of Aloha Stadium. I don't know if they're physically going to break it down in the next few weeks, but it's like the last big concert for saying bye to Aloha Stadium. So it's going to be I think like 7 or 8 bands. Yeah, I'm sure food, everything there. So traffic might be a little, more than usual. And like I said, hopefully it's a mellower crowd and they don't get too. I'm sure there'll be alcohol there too. So.
It's not free, huh?
You have to pay for it.
No,
Yeah, free. How much is the ticket?
I don't know. We can ask the stadium folks that.
What's the ticket?
HPD wouldn't know that. We'll ask the stadium folks that. Okay? Stadium folks, guys. Yep. Samantha, and then we'll be perfectly fine to answer those questions. Okay, Russell, any other questions? You good? Okay. All right, okay. Community members, any questions? Randy?
So hello, I live up Royal Summit and there's a special treatment facilities and there's a couple incidents that happen. So there's police reports. But my concern is there seems to be a lot of like a police truck and unmarked police vehicles coming maybe every week. So are they doing investigations or are they following up on a case that on the police report that we have happened on 8/4 and also on 8/5?
when you say sorry, when you say special police vehicles, you mean like the motorized vehicles, the
So we
personalized
have
car?
there's like a truck, a white a pickup truck. It says HPD. Then
Oh,
they've been
okay.
coming and unmarked cars been coming. And we can tell that's police officers because they have like a name, badge. But they're coming like quite often. So the other incident was the police report was on 9/10.
Like where in specifically in Royal? That sounds like our community policing team. They use the truck a lot, and they usually don't have uniform. They have like a vest on and badges to identify themselves. They usually deal with like homeless issues up there.
Was one guy was wearing like a Aloha shirt and they have looks like a badge and you can see he was packing. But so
Yeah,
is that so? What are they investigating something or is our
that sounds like the
neighborhood is
community
concerned?
policing team. Because I know they were dealing with had that fire down by the Newtown Rec Center, so they were dealing with them recently, or making checks of the area.
No, it wasn't a
I-
fire. It was from the
Yeah.
special treatment facility.
Yeah, this is the what he's saying is there's a Catholic Charities up there where they have a special treatment facility for troubled youths.
Yeah, I think I heard of that place. Yeah.
So does HPD provide like some kind of community outreach to these youths, or is it what he's asking? Is it that, or is it like, is there some kind of trouble happening at the facility where they have to investigate that trouble?
I'll go look up because that sounds like because community policing doesn't usually deal with if there's a crime, occurring. They usually deal with outreach. That's why they don't wear the uniform. It's a little softer, a little more approachable. So that usually they'll deal with outreach. So they're probably dealing with maybe keeping the kids, keep them busy so they're not getting in trouble. That's just my total, just a guess right now. But I can reach out to them and ask them what they're doing up there.
Because when they come, there's usually like at least 3 of them.
Yeah, there's 3 in that team, so that's probably them. Because if it's a crime, usually the guys in uniform will go up there. So it sounds like more like outreach type of work they're doing.
Yeah, if you would, appreciate you finding out about that and then reporting back in November on that. So we
Okay,
can
we'll
let
do.
the residents know.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I heard of that.
Hold on. Is there a way that when that happens, is there a way to let residents know that's happening so they're not overly concerned that some kind of police action is happening in their neighborhood and it's really kind of just like them coming in and like, doing community outreach, kind of thing? Because I can understand their position where all of a sudden they see 3 squad cars show up in their neighborhood and like, that would cause me to have a little bit of concern too.
Yeah, I don't think there's an issue telling what they're doing. Who would we like be able to tell
I think this individual right here, Randy, his wife as
Yeah.
well would probably be another person because they live directly across from the facility. So,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and then they could actually let other residents know like, hey, this is not like, they're not here to arrest the kids. They're here to like
Right.
show them that HPD is not the enemy, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I know they're doing their job.
Yeah.
Unusual, we have 3 or 4.
Right. You guys aren't used to that kind of activity. So I can understand your concern. Absolutely. So yeah, if something like that could happen where they come in and just, it's a quick, like, no joke, like maybe 1 or 2 minute conversation, like, hey, we're just here to like do some community outreach. Don't worry. We're not here to,
It's about an hour.
yeah. But I mean,
Well, we
to
could get
notify you, it
contact,
only takes
yeah.
like a minute,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're there about an
Yeah, I
hour.
mean, we
Yeah.
could get your email or contact number. We could just
Oh, that
call
would
you
be
and you can
perfect,
see everything.
actually.
Yeah,
If
I
you could
mean,
do
it's,
an email. Yeah.
yeah, it's just. I
Okay.
mean, they're not being really super secret stuff up there. It's just outreach.
Yeah.
So let you
Okay,
guys
great.
know.
It's,
Yeah.
it's not.
Okay, well, I'll get it. I'll bring it up with Lieutenant Iwasaki, and then he can report back, or it might be me next one. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I have your email, so do you want me to give it to them and that be okay? Okay, all right,
Right, thank you.
Okay.
okay, any other questions? Ma'am? We have Samantha online too. Stadium Samantha? Okay. Just making sure.
Hi, I'm with the Newtown Neighborhood Community Security Watch. And one of our residents was concerned about the radar gun at the bottom of Kahele Street because he felt it was dangerous because it's a slope and you have to, slow down. And he felt it was dangerous of having the radar gun there. So we just wanted to express that. And actually, many of us know about it anyway, so we slow down. But
Mhm.
my suggestion was that the radar gun be put at the top of Kahele before the entrance to Royal Summit, because especially in late afternoon, our roads are being used by people who don't want to go on Wanalua and Kamehameha. They're speeding up Kahele, turning left on Komomai, and just cutting through our neighborhood. So I asked that radar guns be put at the top, especially at this time. But I was told before that there wasn't any space for it, but there is. I mean, there are marked areas where cars can park. I did write an email to the community policing team and they said they would keep that in mind. But I just wanted to express that, please consider that. And the other thing I wanted to ask about was those speed trailers, that shows your speed, slow
Yes.
down, you're going at this speed. So can we have that kind of thing every so often on Kahele? Especially on the upslope, not the down.
So the thing with that is, and I know there's a flat area. It has to be they can't do it a certain, if there's, I don't know how they measure it, but if there's a certain angle, the road is a certain angle, they can't put it on the road. But I know there's some flat areas that should be able to put it on the road.
But we
on
cannot
Kahele.
have speed humps because of that, because we requested that.
Right. Yeah.
So we asked about
But
a
there shouldn't be an
trailer.
issue. Yeah, there shouldn't be an issue as long as there's a flat area, which I believe there is.
Yeah.
Enough to put a trailer anyway.
Yeah, so could you consider putting a speed trailer somewhere on Kahele on the upslope
Yeah.
nearer the
absolutely.
entrance to Royal Summit?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, but yeah, so we'll notify the people that take those things out.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking of speeding, just as a segue here, I do appreciate the fact what you guys have been doing in terms of reducing the amount of speeding on, especially like Salt Lake Boulevard or any of the real straightaways that we see out there, because it has become pretty much like a racetrack or drag strip, I should say. So appreciate all the effort HPD has been putting into that. So thank you. Okay, with that, no other questions? Oh, Samantha,
Hi, sorry. Thanks, Terwood. I'm not sure if this is the right place, but I have him. So last month, one of the community members had brought up, we have a homeless, I guess, little encampment right off of Salt Lake Boulevard by Upper Halavalot. So we were kind of monitoring it. We've called it in before. They were asked to leave. It was one man at the time. He did leave, but however, he came back, and now there's 3 additional people that are there with them. So I know our security officer called it in yesterday to HPD, and they said they were not going to send anyone out. So we just wanted to know what we should do, because I mean, we're monitoring it, but I mean, he's ripped out all of our greenery, and it seems to be expanding a little bit with people.
Yeah, and they're also raising chickens. There's a ton
There,
of chickens
there's
around them.
chickens, there's cats, and now there's a younger man and a she looks really young, a girl too,
Yeah.
on mopeds and stuff. So we've been kind of monitoring them. I know they
Wait,
they leave to take a shower and then they come back.
the dispatcher said they're not going to send anybody out.
Hmm.
That's kind of odd. Oh, I didn't know they could do that. So, so where it's on Salt Lake. So I'm trying to figure Salt
So you know
Lake.
how Salt Lake does that turn that goes up towards the Halava station? It's like right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
in the bushes.
Like
Yeah, in the
before,
bushes.
yes, in the
next to
bushes.
fence.
Yeah. So like
Oh.
before CDL trailer, there's like a couple trees. So it's on city and county. And so that's what we were told, that it's on city and county. So we can't ask them to leave. Like we can just monitor them and ask them if they need help, which they tell us no all the time. But it's kind of right when you make that bend, you'll see them right there in the corner.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. Well, actually, that's what our community policing team does. They're
Oh,
pretty good with
okay.
that. So
Okay.
we'll send them out
Thank
for
you.
that too. Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of them is quite the whistler, by the way. At 2 a.m. in the
Oh.
morning, he whistles and it's very loud. Like the whole neighborhood can hear it. It's pretty amazing, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, ma'am, go ahead.
Thank you. Just one more thing about the noise. We have disturbing noise, music noise, at the corner of Mauna Loa and Keonoi at all times of the night. That's where it wakes everybody up. It's still going on. It's cars, it's even motorcycles. I was stunned to figure out that it was motorcycles too that can put out that kind of noise. So that
Is it the
continues
ones
to be a
at
big
night?
problem in my neighborhood.
The ones at night, the one when they leave from like I believe the Walmart area when they run to the freeway or wherever they're going.
I'm sorry, ask again.
Is that the one? Is it mainly at night
Oh,
or is it all day?
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is
Okay.
mostly at night. It happens during the day as well, but it's all along Mauna Loa. And my neighborhood is the Mauna Loa and Kaonoi. And it goes on at all hours. And I mean, will shake you out of bed, the vibrations from it.
Okay, yeah, we'll look into that too.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on because we're already half an hour in. We're only too deep. Okay, thank you for everything you guys do. Really appreciate it and look forward to hearing the updates next month. Okay, let's move on. City reports, Board of Water Supply.
Chair Wood, members of the ʻAiea neighborhood community, and members of the ʻAiea neighborhood board. I'm Tracy with the Board of Water Supply, and I'm going to make this fast. So there were 3 main breaks reported in this neighborhood district last month. September 15th, there was an 8-inch main break on Hapaki Street. September 20, there was a 12-inch main break on Nahele Street. And on the 26th, there was a 4-inch main break at ʻAiea Heights Drive at the top of the ʻAiea Heights. The Board of Water Supply needs your kokua now. Please reduce your water usage by 20%. Lower than normal rainfall and higher water demand can impact our water supply. While we are good for now, here are some simple ways you can help ensure we have fresh drinking water now and into the future. Turn off the tap while brushing teeth, washing hands, or shaving. Shorten showers by a few minutes. Use a garden nozzle on your hose. Irrigate early in the morning to reduce evaporation. And even small changes make a big difference. So let's work together to make every drop count. And for more tips on how to conserve water, visit boardofwatersupply.com. And then I also brought our customer newsletter, Water Matters, and it has information about water conservation and a personal request from our manager and chief engineer to ask people to conserve water. So if you want a copy, there's a couple of extra ones on the sign-in table over there. Let's see, last month's board meeting, resident Claire Tamamoto asked, or she said, a BWS contractor has been storing construction material in a nearby lot for the Kahili Nye Place and ʻAiea Heights Drive water system improvement project. And she wanted to know when we expect that project to be completed. So according to the project news release on our boardofwatersupply.com website, the project is anticipated to be completed in the fourth quarter of 2026. And yes. Okay, and that's it.
Okay, board members, any questions for Lawrence?
Oh, I know I mentioned this earlier, but yeah, can you look at doing a presentation for that desalination plant? I know when I looked at the numbers, they're spending 150 mil to get it started, and I think overall it's gonna be about 200 or 250 mil. I'm just looking at the cost benefit because it seems like we're gonna be paying a lot of money for converting seawater to potable water. And I just wanted to see how they came about with those numbers. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions for Board of Water Supply?
Was there talk about little barrels of tubs or something to conserve water, rainwater, or what? I'm interested in purchasing, and I would think Home Depot, but that's only rubbish can containers. Does Board of Water Supply provide, and how can we get it?
Okay, Board of Water Supply doesn't provide the rain barrels.
Where?
We do have rain barrel classes every once in a while, but then we offer a rain barrel rebate. So if you were to purchase one from, we have a list of various suppliers on our website at boardofwatersupply.com/rebates.
What would be the average cost of one and the size? Is it worth it?
I don't know the average cost of a rain barrel, but I do know that the rebate is $40 for a 55-gallon rain barrel or larger.
See, I have rain gutters. If I could cut it shorter and put the barrel underneath, that would be free water for me. That's one, free example of saving water. And my water bill is very high, so I have to cut down. Thank you. Do that.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions for Board of Water Supply? All right, community members. All right, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you for your
Appreciate it.
attention.
Okay, all right, Mayor's office.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yep, we sure can.
Hi, thank you. I'm Haku Millis. I'm the director for Department of Design and Construction. A few announcements. I'll just put the mayor's newsletter link in the chat. But most importantly, the Skyline service is expanding this month, actually this week, to new stations, including Joint Base Pearl Harbor, Hickam, and the Honolulu Airport. There's more information and other highlights in the mayor's newsletter. A couple of issues last week. I wanted to commit most of the time to that. There was a question about parking at Waimalu Neighborhood Park. The question was, are there city ordinances or state statutes regarding how much the state DOE can charge for the use of the school parking? DPR responded, organizations who seek to provide additional parking for participants attending games at Waimalu Neighborhood Park may contact the school to request use of the DOE lot. Organizations can submit for use of facilities applications online. A DOE requires the application be submitted 10 days before for all inquiries regarding parking at Waimalu Elementary School. Please contact them at 808-307-4500 or at www.waimaluelementary.org. For questions regarding state statutes on usage of school parking lots, please contact State DOE at 808-784-6200 or at www.hawaiipublicschool.org. The sidewalk status and construction at 99-230 Mauna Lua Road. There was a question as why was the sidewalk closed? When will the sidewalk be open? What updates are available? And will there be a new turn restrictions entering and exiting the property after the construction is completed? Does DTS plan to add a new sidewalk due to reports of pedestrian jaywalking at the intersection of Mauna Lua Road and Laulima Street? Excuse me. The latest response from DPP, this 99-230 Mauna Lua Road on September 17, 2025, DPP Building Inspection Section conducted an investigation and revealed the sidewalk was blocked during a recent water line and fire line connection to the property. Contractor has a trenching permit for the ongoing work on the sidewalk. Sidewalk is open and accessible during the inspection. Completion date is unknown. For DTS, their response is please refer concern regarding the new turn restriction entering to DPP. DTS does not have any current plans to install a marked crosswalk across Mauna Lua Road at Laulima Street. In addition, there are existing signs which direct the pedestrians to cross at a signalized crossing at ʻAiea Heights Drive at Puakala Street. There was a question for pedestrian and traffic safety on Salt Lake Boulevard near Aloha Stadium. What were the findings of the DTS investigation along Salt Lake Boulevard in the vicinity of Kalaloa Street? Can DTS install additional speed limit signage along Salt Lake Boulevard? This was a repeat, and so their latest update, there was also a HPD question. Can HPD conduct speed limit enforcement along Salt Lake Boulevard in the vicinity of Kalaloa Street and report the history of motor vehicle collision and speeding in this area since 2023? DTS's response, Department of Transportation Services completed their investigation regarding the board's request for a left turn signal for vehicles on Salt Lake Boulevard turning left onto Kalaloa Street. Our investigation included a left turn study, field observations during the afternoon peak periods, and a review of the area's traffic collision history. Our left turn study found that installation of a left turn signal phase was not warranted for the intersection. Our field observation found that there were sufficient gaps in traffic for vehicles to make the left turn movement safely. In addition, a review of the area's traffic collision history within the past 3 years did not reveal any trends that would justify a left turn signal. As such, no changes to the traffic signal operations are recommended at this time. HPD's response on September 17th and 18th between 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. District 3 officers monitored Salt Lake Boulevard in the vicinity of Kalaloa Street for any speed violations. 2 speeding citations were issued on Salt Lake Boulevard. It is our understanding that DTS will be conducting a comprehensive study, which I just explained. As staffing permits, officers will continue to monitor this area and take appropriate action when violations are observed. The next issue was regarding illegal parking. Can DTS add no parkings here to corner signage and paint red curbs to indicate where parking is prohibited on KKLE Street? And can HPD issue warnings or citations for illegally parked vehicles in the vicinity of Kaahele Street and KKLE Street? How many parking citations has HPD issued over this time, over in this area since January 25? HPD responded on September 17th and 18th, 2025, between 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. District these officers checked the vicinity of Kaahele and KKLE streets for any illegal parking, and no parking violations were observed. As staffing permits, officers will continue to monitor the area and take appropriate enforcement action if violations are observed. If residents notice any parking violations, they are encouraged to call 911 for immediate response. DTS also responded that they will conduct an investigation which will require research, site inspections, a traffic study, and analysis of the area's traffic collision history. DTS will inform the board of their findings once an investigation is completed. Those are the responses to the issues from previous weeks. and happy to take any questions of the board and the community at this time. Thank you.
Board members? Go ahead, Lawrence.
I have a question regarding the columns supporting the rail line. How often are those columns inspected? You know offhand?
I apologize. I definitely don't know offhand, but that is something that I can take back and ask DTS about, as they are the operators of the existing system.
Yeah, the reason I ask is there's a couple of columns by Home Depot and Sam's Club, that intersection. I believe it was number 278 and 277. Those columns are cantilevering off and carrying the rail line. But looks like there's a lot of discoloration. I'm not sure if they're starting to have micro cracks on the top. So if somebody can just look at that, it's probably just maybe from pigeons or something, but it looks suspicious.
Thank you. We'll talk to DTS about that.
Thank you.
Paul?
With the opening of Skyline Segment 2, including the station at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, can you let us know if there's been coordination with the military to make sure there's adequate shuttle bus service from the station to on base?
Yeah, I understand that there was, but the specific timing of all of that, I will talk with DTS and get back to you on what specifically was done in terms of scheduling.
Okay. Board members, any other questions for the mayor's office? I know that Claire had another question about school parking lot fees. Okay, so we'll get to you. Okay. All right. All right. Claire, is there anything going to community concerns? You have any questions for the mayor's office? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Haku, I hate to be a broken record, and I know you report that the property on Mauna Loa Road, the sidewalk is open, but it's not open enough for a wheelchair or anybody in a handicap. There's just a pathway, and for over a month, there has been a right lane closed sign at that spot. And it's just a small, but I mean, you said they have a permit for trenching. What is taking so long, and what's the status of that?
Thank you. We'll reach out to DPP about that. I speaking from our experience, because we're required for all of our DDC projects to get trenching permits as well. Sometimes work takes a little bit longer than expected. For something like this, I wouldn't think it would take this long, but we will definitely reach out and see what's going on with them. But we appreciate your patience with this. I'm sure they want to get it done and get out of there as quickly as they can.
Well, yeah, they're the guys that are occupying it. They own their engineering or construction company. And I think I wasn't asking about a U-turn. I was talking about a left turn out of that property. So if you could.
Yeah,
follow.
I'll reach back with the DTS on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Community members, any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, nothing heard. Thank you, Haku, as always.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay, Councilmember Cordero's office.
Aloha, Chair Wood and ʻAiea Neighborhood Board members. This is Radiant Cordero, your council member for Council District 7. And I hope you have my report there with you all, but I'm just about to send it in the chat right now for everyone to check out for those online. And if you could bear with me, we're going to work through this backwards. If you could check the back of the report, I just want to let you all know that this week that there will be smoke testing occurring at the Sand Island area. So if you see any smoke coming from Sand Island, please don't worry. If you can tell people too that the Sand Island wastewater collection system area is going to be having some smoke testing there. There's information on my report there if you have any question, as well as a link. Next up are my bills and resolutions. Myself and Councilmember Toba Councilmember Tobin and myself introduced a resolution relating to a pilot project for the Hawaii State Public Library System to implement an 18-month pilot program to install library vending machines at hopefully two different stations. The first will be at Pohala Skyline Rail Station, which is Waipahu. And the second one would hopefully be at Kahawiki Skyline Rail Station, which is the Middle Street or Kalihi Transit Center one. There are more information on different bills, but one notably I want to mention is Bill 52, which is relating to maintenance of streams. It is, and as I quote my colleagues, they said it's a nerdy bill, but it's a bill that I worked on with the Department of Facility Maintenance. I very much value the work that I do in partnership with our directors at the city. So I want to mahalo the Department of Facility Maintenance to help me figure out how to help them do their job best. So the information is on the report. Moving forward, I do want to note that there is a three-year child care action plan. I know that maybe a few years ago, I was down at the Home 1G with Claire. We were talking with many different child care providers, and this is a result of meeting many different organizations and people who do important work in the child care in childcare. So that's on there as well. I do want to note that there's an informational briefing and a presentation about the Department of Planning and Permitting's new platform, H&L Build, which is for their permitting, and I shared the presentation there. Next up, I do want to head to the ʻAiea Pearl City Town Hall meeting. I want to mahalo everyone who showed up to the ʻAiea Pearl City Town Hall. I want to mahalo Representative Sam Kong for taking the lead for the area legislators and inviting Therese Richards from the U.S. Secret Service. And once again, mahalo all of you for those that came. But also, I had people who came from other parts of my community, from Wailua, Salt Lake, and Kalihi, who showed up to the neighborhood, to the town hall, because it was that much of an important topic. We covered scams, we covered any resources for not just Kupuna, but also everyone in our ohana. So there's information on the report there, and you can share that with anyone you need to. Something that I want to bring to your attention right above that report is the Honolulu Charter Commission. They are going to be hosting informational sessions, and as you know, sometimes we can't reach everybody. So the last meeting will also be an online meeting, and the meeting that's closest to you all will be next week, Tuesday, at Salt Lake District Park at 6 p.m. So make sure to come down if you want to provide input on the charter, the city charter, which does make a change, or see a change every 10 years. These are any of the language or changes that really is the framework of how the city operates, whether it be the departments or even at the legislative level, at the legislative branch level. So check that out, and there's more information on what the charter is, as well as the commission and the meetings at the link that I provided below. Next, on the page before that, since we're going backwards, I do want to mahalo Senator Brandon Elefante for his vision and really pushing for the work at the Pearl Harbor Historic Trail and Bike Path for improvements to be done. I know that at the beginning of the year, we shared with you all that the construction began on February 3. We had a pretty good celebration. Oh, I'm wearing the same outfit as that day. Well, anyway, that's fine. But what's it called? We opened up the section from ʻAiea Highway to area by Best Buy, and they added new signage, striping. They have some concrete, as well as bollards and more. So it's just the beginning portion of more improvements for the bike path, and hopefully more connections to more South Shore bicycle connections. Next up, if you are a part of my e-newsletter, you would have already seen this, but there's road rehabilitation. Mahalo to Director Millis and his department for getting the road rehabilitation project started for Lipoi, Kulubai, and Ho'io streets. or I should say Alipoi Drive, because that's not a street. The construction is starting around September 29, has started around September 29. I know that there's not active construction in many people's views, but they are getting started on that. And so the construction will occur on weekdays from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And not including holidays, but the information is there, and DDC's website has more information there as well. And if you have any questions there, you know, we have the DDC director here too, so I'm sure he knows a lot more than I could answer. Next up, on the very first page, I have community concerns updates. We requested for a bus shelter to be placed at Kuhuapa'ani Street and Mananai Place. There's not enough riderships yet there, but hopefully it will get up there. But we need more than half of the ridership to be increased from the weekday and Saturday and Sunday averages that you see there. Other than that, we will look forward to having maybe more safety safety services in that area for bus riders. Next up, we also have we had concerns about another bus stop and about safety there, as well as pavement markings by Pono and Kaunohi that needed maintenance. And DFM, the Department of Facility Maintenance, has taken that request from us as well. With that, I do want to note that at the calendar of events, you can see that you can see that we have links to the agendas for our meetings. So be sure to check that out. If you are able to, you can head to honolulucitycouncil.org, click on my face, and then you'll be able to get to my report and then check out all the resources that we do our best to update all the time for you all on my site. So please utilize us as a resource as much as you can. And yes, that's all I have for today. And yes.
All right. Any questions for Councilmember Cordero? Lawrence?
You know, for your Bill 34, currently they're planning on looking at giving a stormwater fee to every property owner on the island of Oahu based on porous and non-porous surface areas. That stormwater fee would cover infrastructure and cleanups, I guess, after storms. It's currently paid by real property taxes and I believe the highway fund. If they pass these stormwater fees, are they gonna pull that out of our property taxes, or where is that money gonna go to?
Okay, so you're talking about the stormwater utility fee?
Correct.
That's not yet into effect. Okay, so you talked about Bill, thank you, first off, Board Member Higa. For Bill 34, that's not my bill. I just wanted to highlight it. It's increasing the threshold for what is considered residential A, which is currently at $1 million. And that was made by former council when the average home was well below $1 million. So this just increases the threshold to the market rates that we have today. Next up, as for the stormwater utility fee, that is not currently being determined at the moment, so I can't really speak to that. However, I know that there are, I think is it One Water resources online that I could probably try to look up right now and try to put in the chat. I don't know, but there are resources online that I could direct you to. Maybe I could email it to you, or maybe Director Millis might know.
Yeah, because I'd rather stay ahead of the game, and if they're planning on charging additional fees that's covered by different taxes, for instance, your property tax, I'd rather have bills coming out that if they're not paying for stormwater infrastructure cleanup to your property tax, I'd rather have a bill come out that say your property tax is going to go down by X amount because we're getting that monies from the fees. Because if we wait till later, we're not going to be able to pull that money out and nobody's going to know where that money is going.
I understand. Thank you. I'll make sure that we bring up, if there's any need for testimony when we take that up, we'll be sure to let you know.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the council member? Welcome back, by the way. How was your
Oh,
trip?
Thank you. So I was in Okinawa with former board member David Arakawa. We were celebrating the 125 years of immigration from Okinawa to Hawaii and the rest of the world, as well as our 65th anniversary of our sister city relationship with Naha. Naha and Honolulu, as well as the 40th anniversary of the sister state relationship with Hawaii and Okinawa. So it was cool. I saw a lot of Hawaii. We were in a parade that was hosted by the mayor of Naha, and I saw a lot of Honolulu people chihooing for us, but also just yelling for us. And I took a few pictures with people from Councilmember Okimoto's district, but you know, we're neighbors.
Well, I'm glad you were there to represent us, so thank you
Yes.
very much. Sounds like you had a good time too, so appreciate that. Okay, community members, any questions for the council member? Okay, nothing heard.
Chair,
All right.
if I
Oh.
may, real fast.
Okay, go ahead, Haku.
Sorry, I just wanted to address the stormwater utility that's being discussed. So right now, the funding that is available to upgrade our aging and falling apart drainage systems and infrastructure isn't enough as it is. And the maintenance, that DFM, the maintenance costs that DFM has to incur to try to maintain all of the streams that we have isn't sufficient. And so the stormwater utility that they're kind of initiating is to try to increase the necessary funding so that we can somewhat catch up on some of the, I guess, neglect, for lack of a better word, over the last 50 years or so. Make some upgrades happen, do a better job of maintenance. And so, as I understand right now, what is being proposed, and DFM can come in and hopefully give a presentation to provide you guys with more information on this. But it would be the initiation of the stormwater utility. It wouldn't necessarily be a decrease in property taxes to kind of like shift funds around. I just, the city wants to be open and upfront about all of this. But it is very important to understand that all of this flooding, the things that happen on big storm events is because it's very difficult to maintain all of these streams, particularly on private property. And the city is trying to take steps in the right direction to try to correct that. So just wanted to share. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you. Okay, Lawrence, one more, then we gotta move on.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm looking at is, as you all know, Hawaii is the highest tax state in the nation. And they came up with an article that Hawaii has the highest credit card debt in the nation. Each household averages $15,052. So as far as the property taxes and whatever else taxes that we're coming out with, I'd prefer everything stay status quo or go down, but I know that's just an ambition. I think everything is gonna start going up because of what's going on, but I'm just worried about all the taxes everybody's paying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Chair-
Oh, go
Chair.
ahead, council member.
Sorry, can I just interject? Since we're coming from the city side, I do want to note that while Hawaii does have it has the highest tax burden out of all the states, that Hawaii has one of the lowest real property tax rates in the US as well. I just wanted to note that, and that's why we have both the council and the mayor have not raised real property taxes in the past, like even 10 years or so. Just wanted to note that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on. Councilmember Okimoto's office.
Aloha, this is Pua from Councilmember Okimoto's office. How's everybody doing tonight? I just wanted to apologize for Councilman Okimoto that she couldn't attend the meeting tonight. So I wanted to just let you know of our updates and announcements. So we have a couple announcements tonight. Bill 62, 2024, CD2 passed October 1st, 2025 at full council, provides an exemption for the county motor vehicle registration fee for, or provides an exemption from the county motor vehicle registration fee for one vehicle for veterans 65 years of age or older who are not dishonorably discharged and from the United States Armed Forces. And that's going to be effective July 1st, 2026. Second announcement is the resolution 25-279 reaffirming the city and county's city council's support for the protection and preservation of clean water and public health. We also in our newsletter that was dropped off by our awesome office manager, Jocelyn. We have some events during Halloween that are safe Halloween events that are in our newsletter. So you guys can check it out to bring your family and friends. And I did put in the chat our link to our October newsletter and also some important tips such as where you can testify and how you can get on our city council schedule of when our full councils are and when our committee meetings are. And any additional information, we are more than happy and available for you to ask us any questions. The other thing too is wanted to just let you guys know that we have also a QR code because for a few years we haven't done any electric newsletters. So now that you guys can actually scan the QR code on our newsletter and it'll automatically take you to a place where you can register to get our newsletter electronically. As of right now, that's all I have for tonight. If there's any questions that I can take back to the office, I'm happy to do so right now. Mahalo.
Board members, any questions? Go ahead, Lawrence.
I attended that ʻAiea Pro City Town Hall meeting regarding the scams happening to Kapuna. Can you verify, because I think the Secret Service gal said that they had no convictions for people running these scams, and I was surprised that a lot of this is going on, but they didn't catch and convict anybody.
Yeah, I can take that back to the office, but to my knowledge, a lot of times what happens is that because there's I know from what I've been told in the past by security in regards to cybersecurity, that a lot of times they have other businesses that are connected to these scam artists, and those are the ones that get penalized or they get a class action lawsuit against them that people can actually get their money back. But as of right now, I can verify for you if that information is true, and then I can get back to you next month.
Thank you.
Sure.
Board members, any other questions? Okay, community members, any questions? Okay, nothing heard. Thank you for your report. Much appreciated.
All right. Have a nice night, everyone.
Yeah, same to you. Okay, U.S. Congressman Ed Case's office. Okay, we're gonna move on. Governor Green's office.
Aloha, Janelle Saniishi, representing the governor's office. Aloha, Chair Wood, members of the board and members of the community. From last month's meeting, there was a question or concerns about restricted use pesticides. I think that scheduled a report from our pesticides branch regarding the restricted use pesticide regulations. So that would be in the November meeting, I believe. The news recently, yesterday, they confirmed a case of rat lungworm disease in a Kauai resident. So it's a reminder to everyone that you should wash your fruits and vegetables thoroughly, no matter where you get it from, whether it's a supermarket or your backyard. Just make sure running water is fine. Just make sure they're clean. And also today, it was reported that one duck on the University of Hawaii Manoa campus has a presumptive avian flu detection. It hasn't been confirmed yet. It has to be confirmed by USD on the mainland. So it is migratory bird season. So people should report not just one dead bird, but if there are multiple dead birds, especially of different species, they should report it to the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity. And for the governor's newsletter is in the Google Drive and also available on the governor's website at governor.hawaii.gov. There's one article in there that is of interest to your or the ʻAiea community, is that they did a grand opening of a all new, all affordable rental housing project in Halawa, right across from the Pearl Harbor shipyard, and a short walking distance from the Halawa Skyline Station. They are taking applications for these rentals, and you can email leasing@nauuluhawaii.com. There are studios. It's a 25-story high building, brand new, total of 301 rental units, from studios to 4-bedroom units. So, and I should also mention that the ʻAiea Affordable Senior Complex is on the site of the old ʻAiea Sugar Mill. They are also continuing to accept applications. There are 140 units in that all new, all senior rental apartment complex. That's all through the Hawaii Housing and Finance and Development Corporation. I can take any questions if you have any.
Board members, any questions for the governor's office? Russell.
Yeah, Janelle, this question actually for Director Tommy John.
Okay.
And this is a prior question I'd asked him, and we're talking about the OCCC relocation to Halawa. And I specifically asked him the type of inmates that are going to be held there. And he assured us that it was a non-violent detainees or people waiting for trial, and it would not be those waiting for trial for murder, rape, any kind of abuse. He said, he confirmed that, and he said, no, it won't, it would only be for nonviolent crimes. 1 or 2 weeks after that meeting, there was an article in the paper indicating this defendant that was going to go to trial. His name is Landon Opendap. He's alleged to have attempted to kill his parents. He was set to go to trial. Forget what, I'm not sure if it's up, coming up like before the end of the year. But they listed him as an inmate at a Oahu Correctional Facility, and his bail was $1 million. So I wanted to ask again, Director Johns, whether his statement to us about the relocation of OCCC to Halawa is still correct, because this indicates you have murder, inmates awaiting trial for murder in OCCC.
So let me just jump in real quick. We have some representatives here. Might be better to ask them later when we get to those OCCC.
I don't think that architect will be able to answer it. I think that's the only one.
So the warden's here and.
Okay, maybe that.
Yeah.
Okay, easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's wait till we get to OCCC. That'd be the time to ask.
Okay.
And also, just to let you know, I think maybe there's some confusion between the transition center and the new jail, and who's going to be housed in the transition center and who's going to be housed in the new jail. I think there's some confusion there on that part, which we'll clear up when we talk to these folks, because they have some updates to that, Russell. Okay. All right, ma'am, is there anything else? I'm sorry, community members, anything for the governor's office? Okay, nothing heard. Okay, thank you. Is there something? Okay. All right, moving on. Thank you for the report. Moving on to Department of Transportation.
Good evening, Chair Woods and members of the ʻAiea Neighborhood Board. Casey Abbey from the State DOT Highways. At last month's meeting, I mentioned on August 12th, I received an email from Senator Elefante from constituent Gail Maida about her concern that vehicles are still parking in the new no parking area on Heleʻikonia Place, and why does Olohana Street have no parking on their freeway side, while parking is allowed on the freeway side of Heleʻikonia? Unfortunately, I made a mistake and I apologize to Senator Alfonte and Ms. Maida. I want to clarify that what she wanted to do is that she notices that the freeway side of Olopana Street has no parking. So from understanding, and Senator Alfonte can correct me, Ms. Maida is asking the board to consider converting the freeway side of Heleconia Place to no parking, just like Olopana Street. Since the portion of Heleconia Place where parking is currently allowed is under the city's jurisdiction, the neighborhood board can work with Ms. Maida and the city to change the area to no parking. But I did notice that Olopana Street parking is prohibited 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while Halekonia Place parking is prohibited from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., except on Saturday, Sunday holidays within the highways right away. At last month's meeting, I mentioned our deputy director was working with our maintenance crew on Senator Alafante's request for addressing the recurring problem of our flexible delineator posts being damaged near the ʻAiea off-ramp adjacent to the ʻAiea Elementary School. I'm happy to report that during my field inspection last week, our maintenance crew finally installed new flexible delineator posts that are more durable than the previous ones. But I did notice that large truck having a difficult time making the right turn or trying to avoid hitting the new flexible delineator post and trying to avoid having his rear right wheel from hitting the concrete drain inlet. We will be monitoring the situation to see how long these delineators last, and I'll work with our maintenance crew on repairing the drainage inlet. At last month's meeting, I mentioned receiving an email from Tricia from Councilmember Cordero's office concerning the pavement markings at the intersection of Moana Road and ʻAiea Access Road near St. Elizabeth School and Church. During my field inspection last week, I was happy to see our maintenance crew has restriped the intersection. I also want to thank Senator Alafante for sending an email to our director and deputy director asking if we can move up the repaving of the heavily used road. I'll report back at a future meeting when the project is programmed. At last month's meeting, I mentioned that we received an email from Resident Shimizu of a non-regulatory sign at the intersection of Aolani and Moana Freeway westbound off-ramp going towards Kaiser Moana Hospital. Working our deputy director, our maintenance crew reinstalled the down sign. As mentioned at last month's meeting, Senator Alfonte sent this email on July 1st about graffiti on Kauapani Street overpass, which our maintenance group painted over, only to have the graffiti artist return on September 3rd. During my field inspection on October 3rd, our maintenance crew painted over the new graffiti, but I did notice new graffiti on the small shed located in the meeting area of the H1 westbound on-ramp from Ulini Street. During my October 10th field inspection, our maintenance crew managed to paint over the new graffiti. Also, the graffiti artists were out there on the H1 freeway near Kaanohi Street overpass, but fortunately, our maintenance crew managed to paint over the new artwork. I want to thank Senator Alafante for his September 23rd email and Google screenshot concerning the BMPs that we forgot to remove after a recent project. I'm working with our maintenance crew to try to remove it as soon as possible. I also want to thank Senator Alafante for his September 29th email and Google screenshot concerning the tree branches blocking the traffic signal hit at the Kanuku Street intersection. Our maintenance group managed to cut back the overgrowth during my last field inspection on October 10th. And finally, I noticed that on tonight's agenda under the HDOT, it mentioned about the red light and speed camera enforcement program. I will need to get back to the board at a future meeting on the update of these two programs. And I noticed the meeting, next month's meeting is, has been moved to the third Tuesday on November 18th. I will be late for the meeting or may miss it since I also represent the highways at the Mililani Malka Lanani Valley Neighborhood Board number 35. So this concludes my report. I can take any questions at this time.
All right, thank you. Any board members, any questions for Department of Transportation? Okay. Community members, any questions for Department of Transportation? Okay. Casey, thank you for everything you do. Really appreciate it. Sorry, I'm sorry, Claire, go ahead.
So efficient. So I thought I would ask you, haven't had a chance to even mention it to Senator Alafante, but you know, that the big rain that we had on Friday, we took the on-ramp between Pro City and ʻAiea to get on going west. And I think it's the second or so drainage grate that was plugged or something, so the water was just pooling. So can we periodically check, make sure those drainage grates are, I don't know if it's your Kuleana, but can we check those drainage grates to make sure that they're clear? Because further along the way, it was clear and it was provided, the traffic moved better. But it was just backing up all of the traffic coming onto that on-ramp.
Okay, I'll go investigate and report
Okay,
back.
thank you.
Okay, thank you again for your report. Much appreciated and all the work you do. Okay, moving on, Senator Wakai's office. Okay, nothing heard. Senator Elefante?
Great evening, Chair Wood, Vice Chair Mizusawa, members of the board, and the community residents. Thank you for your participation this evening. I'm sorry I missed last month's meeting, but Taylor from my staff was here and did provide a report. So first, I'd like to start with Waimalu Elementary School, following up on Director Millis's feedback to that. So we did get a response, and I believe this came after from Neighborhood Assistant Curtis. This question was from Board Member Higa and President Tamamoto from the ʻAiea Community Association. So it's a couple of parts to it. So the first is there was a concern about speeding on Wanaloa Road. Wanaloa Road is a city and county road. That area is represented by Councilmember Okimoto. So our office shared that concern with Councilmember Okimoto. And I believe who was online representing Councilmember Okimoto's office was going to provide a follow-up to that and submitted a request to do speed enforcement and look into what type of solutions can be done regarding speeding. We did in that email share a bunch of information on complete streets, safe routes to school. But I think the main concern that we're looking at was some of the parking fees. So Principal Ronell Nip at Waimalu Elementary, and I'm going to quote her, this is what she responds so the community can understand. Waimalu Elementary School has always been open to the process of allowing the community to park on campus. Regarding Mr. Hayashi's inquiry on behalf of ʻAiea Neighborhood Board Member Lawrence Higa and the ʻAiea Community Association President Claire Tamamoto, the parking situation for Waimalu Neighborhood Park has remained status quo for years. The upper parking lot, which is state property, and thus Waimalu Elementary School parking lot has been available to the public free of charge. The lower parking lot behind the cattle gate are available for rent. The application to apply for use of facilities is online, and Director Millis did share that. If you need that link, we can share that with you. Please know that the cost is determined by the information entered, including frequency, dates of usage, time hours by day, and the process is transparent and the cost is generated prior to submission of application. So in January of 2025, only one individual inquired about parking at Waimalu Elementary School for 8 Saturdays at 12 hours per day. The total for parking was $128 or $16 for the day. Custodial fees to open and close the parking lot was $1,022.70 or $127.83 per day. Total per day was $143.83. That comes out to about $11.98 per hour. If there are any further inquiries or concerns, please feel free to reach out to Principal Nip. So that's the response. And I just want to remind folks that when us legislators do town halls, we don't get free of charge. We do have to pay for it. So the last town hall, thank you to Rep. Kong for hosting that, and really appreciate those coming and attend. You know, there is a fee associated, but to their knowledge, they only had one individual that did inquire. So those that are interested in a school facilities usage permit, feel free to reach out to our office at 808-586-6230. I also want to thank Councilmember Cordero for having a series of town hall meetings. I know Board Member Paul Glenn that you had a question on that. Those are some of the concerns we had with some of the route changes. So thank you, Councilmember, and your staff for having additional town hall meetings to provide information to the residents, because these changes are very significant to our community. And then I also want to acknowledge Robert, who's here from ʻAiea. He reached out to our office and he has a community concern later that has to do with Waimalu Neighborhood Park regarding closure. So perhaps the board can work with Robert and address those concerns. And then finally, how many of you access the freeway by the old ʻAiea Cemetery or ʻAiea Access Road? By show of hands, raise your hand. By the ʻAiea Gateway sign. Many of us, right? So I know this was a question that was raised from the board, and I know Mr. Abe had somewhat of an update, but just before I left the office today, there is an update on repaving of ʻAiea Access Road. And thank you to Casey and the maintenance team at HDOT for all your help. So basically, according to the Deputy Director of Highways, they are putting together work order plans and processing a purchase order. And they're hoping to get it done before Christmas or New Year holidays, but it might be pushed to mid-January. And how I read that is that they're going to prioritize that paving for the ʻAiea Access Road as you get onto the freeway or head east to Aloha Stadium. I know that was a lot, but I want to wish everyone a safe and happy Halloween and happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Okay, board members, any questions for the senator? Committee members, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Representative Ichiyama's office. Nope. Okay, moving on. Representative Shimizu.
Hello, this is Caleb Barney, Representative Shimizu's office manager. Thank you everybody for allowing me to share just a few quick updates from our office. Representative Shimizu does wish that he could be there with you guys, but it is an honor to be able to speak here in his stead. So again, just a few quick updates. Some of these can be found in our newsletter. Other things are things that have just been taking place internally in the office. We'll start with, we recently received a call on September 8th regarding speeding on the freeway adjacent to the Pro Ridge condominiums. Our office is tracking this concern and looking into potential safety measures or agency coordination to help address this issue. Representative Shimizu also attended a recent presentation at the new OCC procurement process. Our office will continue to follow this project to support informed decision-making and transparency as the development moves forward. Representative Shimizu also attended the Red Hill Quarterly Open House. He is continuing to stay engaged and to track progress as remediation efforts continue. The open houses remain a valuable opportunity for the public to learn, ask questions, and stay informed about updates to our island's water and safety and aquifer protection. In terms of wildfire concerns, our office has received several different questions from residents about clearing dry vegetation near homes to reduce wildfire risks. Our office is sending inquiries to ʻAiea, the new state fire marshal, and both the Army and the Navy to clarify those responsibilities and procedures. If any residents have any similar concerns about dry vegetation, especially those that are coming from military property that are near their property, please contact our office so that we can forward those details to the proper agency. We also confirmed that the sirens at Halawa District Park and ʻAiea Elementary School are in good working order. However, the sirens previously located at ʻAiea High School and ʻAiea Heights are no longer available. We're currently asking nearby residents if they can still hear emergency warnings clearly in that area to help determine if new sirens or coverage adjustments may be needed. If you have any updates on that, if anybody there can confirm that you guys can still hear emergency warnings, that'd be greatly appreciated. For our office, that is pretty much all the updates that I have to share, just real quick. Open to any questions.
Okay, board members, any questions? Community members, any questions? All right, thank you for the report. Much appreciated. Representative Kong, welcome.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, members of the board and community. Well, one thing I got left is tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m. starting, it'll be at ʻAiea Elementary. It's a financial literacy. So whatever that means is they want to put it into the schools education-wise. So I'm not sure what the meeting's exactly about, but if you attend, you can brief me and let me know what it's about. That's all I have. Any questions?
Any questions for the representative? Okay, community members, any questions? All right, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, moving on. We're going to go to community reports. ʻAiea High School. Stay online. Come up to the mic. Come up to the mic.
My name is Richard. I'm representing, I guess, the athletic director from ʻAiea High School. He contacted me this afternoon via text, and he said that he would be having a presentation next, and he would like to be on the agenda. Athletic Director David Lane.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll do that.
Thank you.
Can you have him send me like an email or something? And then that way him and I can just work it out.
They had issues with the bleachers at the new stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if you could just like send me an email, we can start working. I can work it out directly with him and then get him on the schedule and we can start doing that kind of thing.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Claire, ACA.
So just a couple of regular announcements. Our ʻAiea Community Association meeting will be on October 20th, which is next week, Monday, at 7 o'clock in the same room. Reminder again, December 13th is our parade. You can go on the website, the ʻAiea Community Association website, or just ʻAiaparade.com. Is it .org? Anyway, and you'll be able to get an application to participate. I should have mentioned this to the state guy, but we have the dumping again on Pool College Street on the cul-de-sac. Okay. And if I was told that because it's close to the freeway, that becomes a state problem as opposed to a city problem. Okay, and I think most of you have seen this. We were asked to distribute this on Bokashi and Worming. And so, but if anybody in the public would like to take a picture of it, it's this Saturday at Alva Scott School. It's an Eagle project, I guess someone is doing, and if and the first 50 people get a free Bokashi kit, and I heard these are $90 a piece, but they're going to be free. And then one more thing, because I have another thing in my hat, is a softball clinic for the female part of us, and I'll send this to you, Steve, so you can distribute.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll leave this on the table for anybody who wants to get to know about softball. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Claire. Hey, Claire, can you send me a link to the application? Yeah, thanks. Okay. Pro Ridge Shopping Center, David.
Okay, Chair Woods, members of the board, good evening. Quick update on Planet Fitness. Just heard from a reliable source this evening that the ribbon cutting for Planet Fitness will likely be on November 13th, and we'll likely have a soft opening probably first week of November as well. They have been conducting pre-sale memberships and so far are exceeding goal. So we're all very excited about that. Just a couple of events I'll mention. Again, the free Halloween candy crawl for our children in our community, invited out to trick or treat at the shopping center October 30th between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. I know it's not Halloween yet, but I should mention Holiday Train and Santa's arrival. Holiday Train will run in Malka from November 22nd through January 4th. And Santa arrives on November 28th, and I'll have more details at next month's meeting. And finally, I'll mention the Generations Magazine Senior Fair will be held October 17th. That's Friday, October 17th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in our High Center Court. Any questions?
Board members, Lawrence.
There's I guess, what is that? Our Second Amendment Constitution regarding ability to carry firearms. Is Pro Ridge open to people carrying firearms? Because if not, I think you got to post a sign.
See, the answer is no. That we will, if we see people carrying, we have a code of conduct that there are not to carry firearms in the shopping center.
Because if I'm not mistaken, on a news article, the business had to post a sign that it says no firearms permitted. But I'm not sure if that's right information that I read.
Okay, I will check our code of conduct. I'm fairly certain that it is on there, but I will double check that.
Okay, thank you.
Just let us know next month or.
I will.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay, board members, any other questions?
When are you going to put up your signs? I live in Waimalo, and this is the first time I've heard of these. Do you have any media posters, banners, something on the
So
Canton Highway?
I think this came up.
A bulletin board or
and
something?
You asked a very good question last meeting. So our 9 interactive directories that we have in both buildings, when you go to those directories, there's an events button and you can press it
Oh,
and it'll bring up the entire calendar of events for like the next several months.
okay.
So that's probably
Yeah.
the easiest thing to use,
That
as
people
well
use,
as
yeah.
ridgeonline.com has our
I
calendar.
look at your program and it's getting better every month. And again, communication is, you have to tell the community what's up. And so when I read this, I'm very pleased with the
Good.
report. Keep it up. It's getting better.
Glad to hear it.
Board members, any other questions? Community members, any other questions for Portage? I just want to say that, are you guys going to do the sports card collectible thing again?
Yes.
Anytime soon? Because when I actually was there with the family and it was like packed. Like, I mean, there were so many people there. And then also I attended the Village Market one too as well. And that was packed as well too. So great job on really getting engagement for those kind of things. So thank you for that.
I'm interested in the Rose Society. I'm a member. So this is the first time I've had a Rose Society meeting. Thank you. I'll come.
Okay, thank you, David.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on. Oh, sorry, Community Claire. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead. We're ahead of schedule, so please.
So I forgot to let you folks know regarding the EAH housing, affordable housing up there. So they will be happy to offer tours of the building. They have standard open tour hours from Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. in the morning unless it's a holiday. And you can feel free to join in. They only have a few studios available at this time at the $1,251 a month rent for the 60 for the high, for the low income affordable housing. And then they have a few units at the 1527 rent for the 60% AMI. And the 1 bedrooms they think are going to be all finished at the lower AMI, the affordable. Their rent is 1627. So they think that by the end of this month, they'll probably be full with that. So it's going well. And hopefully it'll continue to be full. So if you're interested in going to see the facility, feel free to just go on from Monday to Friday at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're moving on to Stadium Authority.
Aloha, Chair Wood, members of the board, and members of the community. I'm Chris Kinimaka, Special Projects Manager on behalf of the Department of Accounting and General Services for the new Aloha Stadium Entertainment District. And on September 25th, we announced the exciting news that the Stadium Development and Operation Agreement and the initial ground lease were signed. And that opens the door now for Aloha Halava District partners to move forward in earnest on the stadium work. And that includes both the demolition of the existing stadium and design and construction of the new stadium. We're looking forward now to their mobilization taking place in the next few weeks. As we mentioned before, that includes not just ordering materials and equipment, but also doing site surveys, getting the site safety and protective barriers up, to go ahead and abate hazardous materials in the stadium and to cut and cap utilities. We have asked the developer to take progress photos so we can post them on our website so you don't have to slow down and try to peek behind the barriers to see what's happening. And all of this is in preparation for what we're all looking forward to. Chair Wood, we are working with them to target major dismantling starting by the end of the year and absolutely before or at the beginning of the new year. So that's very aggressively being pursued. The remaining 3 agreements that pertain to the real estate are still in progress, and we expect them to be finalized over the coming months. We announced all of this information as well on our newsletter, which was released on September 25th. You can find this also on our nesa.hawaii.gov website with updated FAQs for our status and any questions you may have. And then I'll just quickly summarize some of the questions that were asked last month to let you know that's still on our docket and we are moving forward with them. The first was on the swap meet relocation. I'm happy to let Sam give you the great news on that right after this. The question from member Suji on the lease agreements on whether we're going to be charging rent and whether we're capturing fair market value. Absolutely, the ground leases will include terms on rent, and we are working on how to appropriately capture fair market value. So that is still a procurement progress or procurement work in progress, so we can't share details as of yet. Chair Wood also asked for a Gantt chart for the schedule as soon as we get one for the demolition, and certainly future work on the stadium, we will be able to filter that down and share that with you, Chair Wood, and with the community. And then the last question had to do with a pedestrian bridge, or what was called a walkover. It's still early yet, but we will be pursuing getting information on that potential for a pedestrian bridge, the pros and cons, and what the costs would be related to that. If I may, I'll go ahead and let Sam do her update, and then we can open up to all Qs.
Just a small minor correction. It was member Suji that asked for that. Russell, you asked for that, right? The Gantt chart.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's in the notes.
Oh,
So
My apologies.
saying.
But we'll share that
Yeah.
with you, Chair, on behalf of
Okay.
Member Wood.
Okay.
Member
Thank you.
Suchi.
Okay, Sam.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So yes, very exciting news. Thank you, Chris, for that segue. We are officially relocated to the swap meet in the Upper Halava lot tomorrow. So there is a lot of hustle and bustle that's been going on for the last 3 days, laying out everything. All the vendors are very excited, nervous. It is a big change for us. So this is really kind of a soft opening day that we are going to be having. It'll still be the same hours, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. All of the entrance will actually be on Halava Gate 3. So our website has been updated. We have new videos on how to get there. Will be online as well. It's on our social media. A lot of the vendors understand it's going to be a little bit chaotic, so they're just asking everyone to be patient with them as they're learning the new areas. We did have the tent vendors come in starting Sunday as well as all day today to start prepping all of the tents. So if you had driven by earlier this afternoon, you'll see there's a lot of tents that are in Upper Halava lot being prepped. That way tomorrow morning it won't be so loud, hopefully, and that they will be able to get everything up. We are letting them keep the tents up as well, again, to mitigate some of the noise concerns that we have. And then we're going to see how it goes moving forward with the traffic patterns in regards to coming in with the vendors so early in that area. So lots of big things coming up for swap meet. Do you want me to go on with?
I got a question for you. So the tents, are those permanent? Like, or are those just for the Aloha to Aloha Stadium?
So the tents are the vendor tents. So
Okay.
we have two different areas. So those will come down. We're looking at having them permanently up there.
Okay.
Whereas meaning that they will take the top portion off and they will
Mhm.
lower it.
Mhm.
Again, because we want to make sure that the noise is a big factor for us. So we want to
Okay.
test it out this weekend.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and continue.
And
Sorry
then-
about that.
Okay, no. And then moving on to the Aloha to Aloha Stadium Farewell Concert and Festival. So as HPD had mentioned, it is Saturday, October 25th. This is actually going to be in Lower Halava parking lot. So TMR, as well as Henry Kapono Foundation is the licensee that is coordinating it with AHDP. So normally Ray and TMR is in Upper Halawalat. This time, because we do have the swap meet going on, they're actually doing it in Lower Halawa parking lot. Again, based on the groups that we have coming, it is a little bit more mellow to the crowd. We will continue to do our sound checks, of course, in all the different areas. Gates will open at 4 p.m. Concert will start at 5 and it'll end at 10 o'clock. Gates 1 and 2 are going to be open to the public at 3 p.m. We are anticipating a fairly large crowd. So as HPD did mention, we will be working with HPD, well, TMR and Henry Capono, as well as our operations staff at the stadium. We'll be working with HPD in regards to the traffic patterns, because again, this will be a new setup for us with the swap meet in the Upper Halawa lot. So parking rates, $9. People are asking if they can tailgate. No, they cannot tailgate. Tickets for the event itself, general admission, family pack of 6 is $5 per person. General admission will be $10 per person. That is standing only. They do have limited VIP standing room areas, which are 21 and older, and that is $79, and it includes all kind of fun stuff. And then everything can actually be found on the tmr.net website. So if anyone wants to know the lineup, I can put that in the chat. I guess I will make the announcement as well that we are anticipating on doing a fireworks show as well. So we are in the works for that, but that'll be part of the event. We have a really cool tribute video that we will be doing in between the acts. So it is something really special that we're excited to be a part of. And I will take questions
All right,
about that
thank
as
you.
well.
Board members, any questions for Stadium Authority? Oh, I know. Lawrence, go ahead.
I know in the last meeting, someone mentioned that you're gonna provide new bleachers for our new stadium. Is that correct? We're not gonna have seats?
So we're going to have a mix of seats. Some sections would have bleachers, not the type at Chink Field. Keep in mind, it's still going to be solid steel and concrete structure, but they would have bench seating. More than likely, possibly the south end zone and the eastern side, but that's still in development as they go through their design and go through the funding that's available. And
Yeah, the
yes.
reason I'm asking is, there's a recent article that, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're replacing 22,000 seats at their stadium. And they're gonna be paying about $6 million. So if you look at your $350 million budget, that comes out to like 1.5% of the budget. Because if we're gonna have a world-class facility, and you're gonna have us old people like me sitting on a bleacher without any backrest, I'm not gonna go more than once.
So the home side, the western side of the stadium is anticipated to have seats. But again, it's going to be in the conceptual design now. We're going to be working with Aloha Lava District partners to maximize seating as best as possible. As you know, they are looking at multiple ways to increase the funding available for the stadium, and that's still very much in flux. But we're not going to promise all seats when that's still up in the air. But we'll be keeping the community up to speed on what's happening.
Okay, keep in mind, Pittsburgh is paying $6 million and they're getting 22,000 new seats.
But that's on top of the existing structure, yes, sir. So this is what we're looking at. A lot of the stadium is putting in just the base infrastructure first, and they are designing the stadium to be able to expand the number of seats up to 40,000 seats, and also to switch out bench seats to single seating seats as well. So as they develop that, we'll be keeping everybody informed.
Okay, if that's the case, it would be good if you guys had a senior citizen area to accommodate us old people.
I'll let them know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Chris, just a kind of crazy question here.
Uh-huh.
Is there a reason why we can't use the old seats to where the bench seats would be?
I think the way they're mounted is different from what they're looking at, and those seats have seen their time as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
All right. May. Yeah.
You said $15, yeah. Adults, and what about children? Admission.
For the event, the
Yeah.
event is so if you do a family pack of 6,
But what
it's
if you don't
$5
have
a
and
person.
just a few, not 5?
Just
Still
okay, so then
15.
it says general admission is $10.
Well, 10 now.
Yeah.
$10.
It's $5 per person for a 6-pack and $10 for general admission.
5 and 10.
And then I should know that Skyline is also staying open as well later for us.
Now, question. Are you going to sell memorabilia, souvenirs of the good days when the Aloha Stadium, I think it's how many years? 45? So 50 years old.
49 years.
Yeah, I think
50 years
if you
old.
had some kind of T-shirt or something, to make it a memorable thing, or something, banners, and make some money too. Is your object to make money or just to have fun?
Well, we actually had our closing ceremony in 2023. So this is with the developer. So we haven't heard exactly what kind of, I guess, tents that they want to set up craft. But we do have items that they can definitely sell for memorabilia, like seat backs. We still have some collectible coins.
Yeah.
So we're working closely with them, and then we're looking at doing other photo op opportunities to really make it kind of a special event for sure.
It would be
So
a
yeah,
good money-making project too. And I think,
absolutely.
what about food, refreshments, concessions?
We're gonna
What-
have that as well. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I believe we are meeting with them this week, and that hopefully they'll be updating their website, and then all of the information either can be on the TMR.net website or on the stadium website as well. We'll make sure we have all that information available.
So, that was the stage of a lot of our football games, and I'm an active football admirer. So all those things that we toured, well, that won't be gone. But on that date, what is the date exactly? So I can put in.
It's Saturday, October 25th.
Oh, that's
then
the
just
same
keep
day
in
as
mind
my Rose Society. That's okay.
Oh.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you'll
Yeah.
have
So
food,
just
memorabilia, things, and some history. I would like to see some, the things that you had underneath the stadium. There's all kind of memorable things. Old football player,
Yes.
I think, what are you going to do with all those? It'll be put in the new stadium because
That's a great question. Great question. So we actually are working with the state archives
Yeah.
department. So all of that has been transferred over to the archives.
Very good.
So we're working closely with the state archives because ideally they do want to open up a museum as well.
Yeah.
They want to have not only a sports museum, but kind of a cultural and, music and everything about Hawaii
Yeah.
museum because he has
Imagine
some really
50
great
years. That's a lot of, years and
we have a lot of
activities.
we
Yeah.
transferred 6 pallets worth of
Yeah.
items.
It'll be a
So
memorable
yes,
thing.
yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Thank you. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for the Stadium Authority? Claire.
Here you mentioned for the concert, can people bring in chairs?
Ooh, that's a great question. As of right now, no.
These
But we
old
are
people.
trying to, I know.
I missed a meeting and look what happened. Okay.
We have a meeting on Thursday, Claire.
I know.
But yes, that is one of our questions because we have been receiving a lot of calls from that in regards to doing chairs again, because the music is tailored more towards an older crowd compared to what he's used to. So that's definitely one of our concerns.
Hey, aren't you still on the Stadium Authority board?
But I missed the last meeting. So
Okay, because they work for you, so why are you asking the question? Okay.
I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, she had to put it out there.
But the last time I brought brought a chair and ended up sitting on the ground. Is it a space thing? Are they worried it's a space thing?
They're anticipating close to 15,000 people. If we do get 15,000 people, it is because it is in Lower Halavalot. It is going to be a standing room only.
Okay, and it is an ongoing concert, so people can, and so to answer when the stadium opened, it opened with an Aloha concert. And so when it's officially closing now, they're promoting it as a closing Aloha concert. Okay, May? May, okay.
Okay, my last question. You know, when they have games, they tell you can't bring food in. You cannot bring food in because they want you to buy their concessions. Are they going to check bags like they did in football games? Or is
Ooh,
it just open?
That's
Good
a great
question.
question. I don't believe they're checking bags.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know,
You can bring in anything you want, but there will be concession.
there is
Trying to
concession.
save money.
Yes, I know. There will be HPD and there will be security at the gates. Again, just to monitor, make sure no one is bringing in alcohol and other items that
kind
should
of
not be brought in. But if you sneak a spam musubi in your bag,
You know, if it's next the 24th, you don't have much time to publicize it. You know, you should put it on TV, radio, posters, because this involves the whole island. And I wouldn't think, it's not think, but I think some would even come from the outer island to see something that has been here 50 years. You know, that's a half a century and it's going down. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meg. Okay, with that, we'll move on. Or Mr. Kong, what do you got?
Sam, this is Sam. Will there be enough space for secondhand sellers at the swap meet, or will there be only new items sold?
Great question. So the way the swap meet is right now, so the Salt Lake side, which is kind of our west side, that's going to be the premium new vendors. The side closer to the freeway will be like our flea market, our garage sale. So the only day that is going to be really tight to do daily vendors is on Sundays, because Sundays we can hit up to 700 vendors. So Sodexo has been sending out flyers to those daily vendors that have been coming in the last 2 weeks, letting them know that they have a better chance of coming in on a Saturday to do their sales versus a Sunday.
Okay, thank you.
They turn away. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on now. Thank you, Sam, for all that. And thank you, Chris, as well, too.
Yep,
Much appreciated.
mahalo.
All right, OCCC. You guys have been waiting for a while, so please come on up. Thank you.
Good afternoon, good evening, Chair, board members of the community. I'm Tommy Johnson, the Director of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So for the update for OCCC is we decided to not have the CTC, the Community Transition Center, at the new site for OCCC. We're going to expand at the current Lamaka Work site, 240 beds, and rename that to some type of a reintegration and center. The OCCC bed count won't change. It'll still be 1,000. And I want to make this clear, the jails hold pretrial felons, pretrial misdemeanors, sentence misdemeanors, and probation and parole violators. The type of crime committed doesn't really matter because they'll be held there in what we call classification. So misdemeanors will be kept with misdemeanors. Pretrial felons will be kept based on classification. So if you're a pretrial felon and you committed murder or rape, you'll be in a higher classification under the cell as opposed to dormitory style setting. One of the board members mentioned earlier, I stated that we would not have murderers in OCCC. The jails actually hold pretrial offenders of all types. If you're sentenced to prison, then you go to Halava or WCCC. Okay.
I think it was, I'm sorry, Russell, just let me make a comment here real quick. I think it was my understanding of the situation was that there wouldn't be violent criminal or rehabilitated violent criminals in the transition center is my understanding. Not necessarily the new jail.
Well, the transition center will hold convicted felons who are going back in the community. So
Right, but not, my understanding wasn't convicted felons of rape and murder that were going to be in that transition center.
that they would be in that transition center.
Okay.
If I misspoke, I apologize.
Okay,
Because all convicted felons will go through a transition center for some type of reentry and
Right.
reintegration center. So that would be at the triple Cs.
okay,
Except in this case, now we're moving at CTC to the current Lamaka work furlough site because
Right.
it's downtown, it's closer to public transportation, it's close to where the jobs are, and it makes more sense because the community supports that. And the community where the new OCCC is going to be had concerns about public transportation, and they were valid concerns. We
Yeah.
took those into consideration.
okay. Go ahead, Russell, I'm sorry.
So my question was really about the OCCC relocation to Halava.
Right.
And who exactly are going to be housed there? And so your response at the time was that there would be no, if, as I understood it, there would be no one waiting trial for murder, sex rape, kind of stuff like
I don't
that.
recall saying it. Jails will hold.
So they will have that kind of big inmates who are awaiting trial from possibly murder. Like we had the one in, I think Waipawa, the guy was out on, his trial had to, I don't know, it was years before he went to trial. So I don't know if he was in OCCC, but, remember the acupuncturist? When the acupuncturist got
Right, that
murdered?
has been killed.
Yeah, and that guy was out, but I think he posted bail.
He probably would have been out on bail,
Yeah.
but
But this guy, I've been reading, his $1 million bail is the one that allegedly attempted to kill his parents.
so he would be at OCCC.
And that is a type of inmates that we're going to have here in Halal.
They're not inmates, they're detainees.
Oh,
Yes,
whatever.
they would be
They're-
there, but you have to understand that a jail setting for pretrial felons is secure. It's a cell, it's not a room.
I mean, we already house felons at the Halava Correctional Facility, correct?
We only house felons at the Law Correctional Facility.
Right.
Prison.
That's a prison, yeah. So I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Well, and then there was going to be the transition, the housing.
Yeah, that's different though, right? Because they're actually allowed to go into the community.
That's right.
Whereas if they're in
And that's going to be
OCCC
also-
or the Halava Correctional
That
Facility.
would have been changed.
We're moving that to the current Lamaka Work Furlough site. We're planning to raise that site, use module 20 at the current OCCC.
Lamaka meaning Kalihi.
Lamaka, yes. And then build a 240 bed facility for a transition center there that will have both pretrial folks checking in on one side who are in the community being supervised by a tech service center. Then on the other side is a transition center with folks going out daily to work and then returning to the transition center at the end of the day.
So one of the things, because I just heard about it too, like right before this meeting, the warden and director told me. One of the things they heard are concerns about having that transition center here, right? And like the transportation, issues and them being out in the community to try to just get to the bus routes, okay?
That's a concern, but also.
Right.
It's also a concern to have people waiting for trial, even though it's from.
Well, they're
from
still
murder.
incarcerated though.
But they'll be here in Halal.
They're also innocent until proven guilty.
I got it.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But like that guy was out for years and then the jury found him guilty, right? That guy that
That's an
killed-
issue, that's a decision that the court made to let him be out
Yeah.
on bail. It's not, I don't have control over those. So everyone who is under the supervision of the courts, the courts hold jurisdiction, even the people who we supervise.
I understand. I'm just saying, we're relocating OCCC here in Halava. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be facing in.
I for one applaud the warden and the director for taking our concerns into consideration and allowing them to move that transition center from Halava, where it was a concern for us, back to Kalihi, who literally they want to have that transition center there. So they took our concerns and acted upon it.
Except we're also bringing OCCC here.
Mhm.
And they'll be having people, detainees that
Mhm.
potentially have committed felonies.
Right. But we already have the Halava Correctional Facility here.
But it's a higher security over there.
Not necessarily. I think that's
It's a
going
higher
to
security over there.
So we're clear, people who are pretrial felons are in a prison setting in a jail.
Yeah.
And then once they're convicted, they're transferred to a prison setting.
Yeah.
Those that are sentenced misdemeanors and pretrial misdemeanors, they're in a different type of setting that's not as strict, but they're still not getting home.
Hey, Russell, have you had an opportunity to take the OCCC tour yet? I think you really need to do that.
And I've been to OCCC in Kalihi.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've been there
Have you actually?
when I was practicing.
Yeah, yeah, but have you actually like had the warden walk you through the facility? So there's different levels of like incarceration. They have they have dormitories where there's like people like in actual section, like, you know, there's multiple people in a dormitory, right? Then they have other sections where it's single cell and it's straight out of like Alcatraz, it looks like. Okay. And that's where those guys are like high risk, highly violent people will go to. And then they actually have open bay areas, right? That are like 50 people to a floor, you know? So there's different levels of incarceration and different levels of correctional officers and their monitoring of those individuals, those inmates. So I'm not so concerned about like an inmate like escaping, because I don't think I've, outside of the work furloughs, well, from work furloughs, right? But not necessarily from like a cell, they dug a hole and like got out that way, you know, or, you know, whatever, you know, they, from work furloughs, they just don't show back up at the reported time. But that's where that transition center is going to Kalihi now and not in ʻAiea. So it's going to become Kalihi's problem, not necessarily ʻAiea's problem.
Still get the jail, get out.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if you'd like, we could set up a tour with CCC or Halaba. You just give me a call.
Right.
Get me, we'll set it up.
Okay. Yeah, the warden set that up in September. I think it went fairly well. He's always open for another setup. If anybody wants to attend, I highly recommend it because it is an eye opener. It really is. You'll see the conditions of what the inmates and also what the correctional facility officers are dealing with down there. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I mean, I'm just trying to facilitate. Okay. Anything else to report?
No, we're still on the movement of the CTC does not affect the construction schedule for the new OCCC.
Does it affect the budget? Because I know like we're talking like a significant amount of money here.
Right.
So like, does it affect the budget?
It may affect the budget right now, but it will be a separate RFP project.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Board members, May.
Well, in college, I did go and talk to the prisoners. Then with the neighborhood board, with, you know, our chairman and a couple of ʻAiea. And I told him about that single cell that had a toilet, a sink, and a bed. That's all it had. And I was just flabbergasted that I didn't believe that they had that kind of bill. Now, the question is, I've been to the twice to the prison. I haven't been to when I go to Mililani Mortuary, there is a sign on the right. And so one day I was curious, so I took the road and was it called Triple? I still don't know. What is that called?
That's the Oahu Correctional Facility. It's a
correctional
facility, no fence. That's where our treatment facility is. Everyone there is on their way out. And so we have an operational farm there.
Yeah, that I couldn't go in, but it was locked. But I was saying, what kind of people would be housed, you know,
There's
in
a
the
gate
middle?
front, but the
Yeah.
property itself, there's no fence.
Yeah, but maybe I said one day we should go, but I was really impressed by the prison system. And if you read the papers, you know, like all the things that they're being punished for, like $1 million bail and all these, you know, things that it's going to be interesting how we, you know, help these prisoners or people in trouble.
Yeah, because our job is not to punish. The courts punish. Our
Yeah.
job is to rehabilitate.
Yeah. And how can they afford the bail, like $1 million? You know, how do they get that money?
You only pay 10% of bail.
Huh?
So bail is $1 million, you have to come out with 100,000.
Oh, okay. But I just flabbergasted. Okay, pass on.
Okay. Thank you, May. Any other questions? Russell, anything else? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I know. No. Okay. Community members, any questions for OCCC? All right. Well, thank you both for being here. Much appreciated. Thank you again, Warden, for setting up the tour in September. Okay, we'll move on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to board business now. So let's go ahead and start with approval of the written summary for video record Tuesday, September 8th or September 9th, 2025. Anybody want to make a motion for that approval? Okay, Paul, anybody want to second that? Okay. Richard, any objections to the approval of the written summary for video record Tuesday, September 9th, 2025? Nothing heard? Okay, written summary for the video record Tuesday, September 29th, 2025 has been passed. Okay, next board meeting. This is just an informational. Next board meeting will be rescheduled to Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Okay, moving on. We're going to go ahead and start discussion and vote on resolution provided by Pearl City Neighborhood Board number 21 on the appointment of board members to a joint board meeting addressing hurricane disaster preparedness. Can I just do a summary of this before we get into discussion? Okay, so as you all probably, I hope you've read the email that I sent out with all these resolutions. In this particular one, it was initiated from the Makakilo board. They want to address hurricane preparedness preemptively, I guess is the best way to say it, and to make sure that the island is prepared for a hurricane or other natural disaster before the actual natural disaster occurs. So what Makakilo board has asked is for up to 8 other boards or more to join together to host another, basically a informational forum where we have experts come in to talk about where we're prepared and where we're not prepared when it comes to hurricane disaster and other natural disasters here on island. The idea is that there will be representatives of this board that will attend that board meeting. So if you've read the resolution, you get the scope of what it entails. Let's go ahead and make a motion for, I guess we make a motion to adopt, and then we'll open to a discussion if there's a second to that. Okay. To adopt the resolution I sent to all you to have a representative attend this joint neighborhood board meeting to discuss the, I guess, hurricane preparedness and other natural disaster preparedness here on island. Yeah, tidal waves, yeah, tsunamis. But so it's for this board to authorize a representative to go to that board. It could be up to 5. So you'll see in the resolution, I think I have 4 or 5 slots on there. So so is there anybody who would like to make a motion to approve that? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you're going to second that, Lawrence? Or you have, so it was initially going to be October 22nd, but now it is moved to November 20th. And it will be, initially it was going to be hosted at, I think Campbell High School, but now it's going to be moved to Pearl Ridge Elementary School, I think is where it's going to be held at. Yes, yes, yes. So we have one motion on the table to approve. Anybody want to second the motion? Okay, Lawrence. Okay, now we go ahead and open it for discussion. Board members, any questions, comments, concerns? I'll try and answer what I can. Well, we would like to vote those members in particular to go to this because they would represent our board, right? In our place. We don't want, we're not asking everybody here at this table to go, right?
Yeah, I'm concerned about the inflammatory nature of Keone Dudley's statements, which were probably not entirely accurate. So I'm torn between sending representative there to go against what he recommends versus having someone legitimizing that thing. But because the idea of needing a safe room with a bathroom doesn't make a lot of sense. I haven't been on Kauai during Iniki. It passed through less than an hour. So the idea of having a bathroom in a safe room just on its own means that I don't know if he knows or has had experience with hurricanes. And the idea that D.H. Horton said it's only going to cost 5,000 to 7,000. I think that's lowballing it because 25 years ago, I was doing thinking about having an addition or a room and a bathroom, and it was going to cost $20,000. So I don't think cost went down over the course of the year. So yeah, we've been in Hawaii for a long time, and we haven't had the disaster that he anticipates. Yeah, it might happen. You have to agree with that. But the cost versus the benefit of having it, to me, it doesn't make sense. So I cannot really support sending representatives to a committee that seems to be slanted toward wasting a lot of money, putting a lot of regulations, and is not really going to be necessary or appropriate for an actual hurricane that happens.
Anybody else want to make a comment? Lawrence?
Okay, so as far as the interpretation of this meeting they're trying to have, it's in favor of being more prepared for a hurricane. It's not a meeting where we're gonna discuss the pros and cons of trying to set up a system like this.
So do you want to edit the resolution I put forward and add that language in there?
Well, what is the intent? Is it in favor of having these measures in place, or is it a meeting that we're gonna discuss the pros and cons of having all this in place, like what our board
Yeah.
member mentioned?
So the intent was for our representatives to go. They would develop a resolution at that meeting and bring it back for us to vote on. So whatever comes out of that meeting, that would be brought back to us as a board to vote on.
It's not gonna be, we're not going there in favor of this. We're gonna go in there with looking at the pros and cons of having this measures taken for natural disasters. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's not gonna be like we're just agreeing that's where we're going. We're still gonna have a discussion on the pros and cons.
Right.
of
And then
having-
there'll be a joint resolution that'll be developed and that'll be brought back to the board for our approval at the board.
Because yeah, it seems like according to what was mentioned, I kind of agree that it's really slanted toward everybody agrees with these measures as far as this disaster mitigation that they can do now, but as far as a disaster happening that was mentioned, that might be 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million. We don't know what exactly is going to happen, but to spend all that money, taxpayer money up front now, like I mentioned earlier, Hawaii is one of the highest tax states in the nation. And I cannot see putting that burden on all the taxpayers, but but people can afford it, that's fine. You can always pay more taxes. The tax code doesn't tell you you have to pay this amount. If you feel like it, you can pay twice as much. Nobody's gonna hit you on that.
Right.
But yeah, if the intent is to look at the pros and cons, and yeah, I agree, it's something that we could go and look at, but if it's all slanted toward having everybody in favor of doing these measures, then yeah, I'm gonna vote against it.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Ron, anything?
I think the cost of undergrounding everything is drive our electric rates out of the.
Yeah.
Guam years ago braced themselves for hurricanes. What they have are these monstrous concrete poles. Most of the buildings are CMU. I'd like to know what kind of standard it would take, to be that. I'm very at heart opposed to this idea.
Okay.
Same reason I think the costs are exorbitant.
Okay. Jane?
I'm just in favor of someone, I can't go. I'll be out of town off island, but someone going and bringing information back to us.
Okay.
Sounds great.
All right. May?
I thought it was preparedness, like the tidal they wave that never came and all the commotion and problem, but was a good lesson because I got panicky too. Okay, if it's preparedness, I'm all for it.
Good. Bernie? Good. Dean? Okay. Okay. Right. So,
Question, can I ask a question? I mean, like
Yeah, go
my
ahead,
my
Russell.
understanding was that this is not, whatever comes out of this committee, whatever comes out of any resolution that we would actually support, it's still subject to council funding.
yes,
right? So it's
yes.
not like getting into the,
Not just council funding, but this would be a state and also federal too. Yeah.
maybe that's where, I guess, at our meeting or at this meeting,
Yeah.
you guys can hash out the issues about costs. It's worthwhile.
Yeah. Okay, so with this particular resolution, do we want to send a representative, I guess is the question. Okay,
Let me ask you again, because I'm still not clear.
okay.
So this resolution, they're in favor of providing these measures for a natural disaster. It's not a meeting where they're gonna discuss the pros and cons of it.
So they're going to discuss the pros and cons of it. Okay, they're going to they're going to develop a resolution that they're going to bring back here for us to vote on. This will be part, or whatever's in this resolution will be a part of that, I'm sure. So, but the idea, or what was explained to me was that at this meeting, that the resolution would be discussed and that would be brought back here for our vote. Our representatives would contribute to that resolution.
I'll go, sign me up. I have 100 guys against me, but hopefully somebody else goes.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your willingness to go into the lion's den.
Yes.
But what I'm afraid of is that, we get outvoted by a group that's already slanted toward one solution, and they'll say, see, all the neighborhood boards voted for that. And Larry's points, they'll just kind of ignore.
It has to come back here anyway for a vote.
Right, it'll have to come back here regardless. Yeah. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and put this on the table. I guess the resolution would be, are we going to send an individual or individuals, okay, those that would like to attend, to this joint board meeting addressing hurricane disaster preparedness? Do we want to do a roll call on that at this point? Okay, so yeah, I'm calling it. So ʻAiea? Yeah, go ahead and call it. You call it, sorry.
If I abstain, can I still go?
No. Hold on.
Yes, so this is a joint board meeting with multiple neighborhood boards. Whether or not the ʻAiea neighborhood board adopts this resolution, you can go in your individual capacity, or even, ʻAiea residents can go to the public meeting. This would just formalize that up to, 7 of your board members listed on this resolution will be official representatives of the board and can contribute to, the discussion in their official board member capacity.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can abstain and still go.
Yes.
As an individual, but not as a board member.
I was a board member and I got a report.
I would say yes.
Like, yes.
Why would you not vote for the question? Because you could continue saying that you're going to do that. But we're not talking about the way this is. And what we're talking about now is the city representative.
We're voting on sending representatives. Oh. Okay, I mean, I vote yay or.
I would say, well, we can go ahead and continue with this resolution, but this resolution is still sending somebody to the board, right? We're not committing to anything in this resolution. unless you think differently. And if you do, we can amend it.
Yes, so the resolution reads, ʻAiea Neighborhood Board Number 20 supports the composition of appointed members from multiple neighborhood boards to facilitate a joint board meeting to identify potential actions and solutions required to address the concerns with many shortfalls related to hurricane disaster preparedness on Oahu. That's the current motion, is to adopt this resolution.
Send somebody to in English. No, it could be one or multiple.
Well, okay, it's not that for, you're in favor of this,
Okay, so you want to change. You want to change the wording so that it's not like that.
that'd be a Russell question because I'm not an attorney.
What would it take for you to be comfortable with the terminology?
Language in
Yeah, the language.
Can be discussed.
All you gotta say is I strike this word out or I add this word in.
Like I'm not an attorney. Okay, what Russell said.
Okay. Do we need to change the terminology? Because I think that's what it says, right?
So May can revise her original motion to, instead of adopting this resolution, to just simply say that you motion to permit the ʻAiea Neighborhood Board to send X amount of members to this meeting, and you don't have to adopt the resolution.
Are we good with that?
So to form a permitted interaction group to discuss hurricane and disaster preparedness. So that would be member Imamura Uru's new motion is to form a permitted interaction group to join this joint board meeting to discuss hurricane disaster preparedness, correct? Instead of adopting the resolution as written, because there is a disagreement on that. Is that correct?
That is correct. So if somebody want to make a second to that motion?
Okay, so May revised her motion and Lawrence seconded the new motion. Okay, are there any objections to sending up to 7 members?
We'll do a
And-
roll call now.
Yes. Okay. So if you could raise your hand if you would like to be on the permitted interaction group for disaster preparedness.
We're gonna find out who wants to go first. Yeah, November 20th.
And you could be a part of this permitted interaction group, but not necessarily attend the meeting. Okay, Lawrence Higa, May.
Yeah.
Imamura Uru. Okay, and it's Chair Wood, right? That's 3. The board can appoint 4 more people to go to this meeting, to speak their mind. It doesn't have to necessarily be in support of this resolution,
I
but
don't want to go, Paul. I kind of want you there.
okay.
We need the sanity, okay?
Okay, Member Paul Glenn. That's 4. Member Ronald Fitch, that's 5. Yes. Oh, Russell, Suji. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. And you would be official representatives of the ʻAiea Neighborhood Board, but you would not. Or 5, Russell? And even if member Russell Suji is not, appointed to the permitted interaction group, he can sit in the audience because it is a public meeting.
November 20th.
Or do you want to be a part of the permitted interaction group, which would allow discussions amongst the permitted interaction group members before the meeting? So this means that members Fitch, Glenn, Higa, Imamura, Uru, Wood would be able to get together in a room to talk about hurricane disaster preparedness. With amongst yourselves, yes, and you can discuss as much as you want regarding this topic and meeting in preparation for the joint meeting. So this is your last chance to be named to the group.
When I read through the title, on this would happen. The other we did
Yes, disaster preparedness, yes. So you folks can talk about anything related to disaster preparedness.
I think keep it at 5.
Okay, we'll keep it at 5. Are there any objections? Okay, the motion is adopted. Just to clarify, the resolution was not considered. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on.
Excuse me, do you know where it would be held?
Yeah, Pearl Ridge Elementary.
Oh, yeah. Very close.
Yes, very close.
So yes, the permitted interaction group on hurricane and disaster preparedness has been formed.
Okay, just as a side comment, so I went to a meeting on this already, and I don't think they really understand the scope of what this is. It's a massive asset. I just don't think they really got it. And I think it's like what Paul was saying. Creating safe rooms in every house, like if you take a look at that, it's a huge undertaking. How many houses we have and how many condos, apartment complexes, like it's just a massive undertaking.
Even the addition of a bathroom doesn't make any sense because people forget you need electricity to pump the water up to the tank. And what happens is that people stupidly during a hurricane flush the toilets, waste all the water, and it's all gone. So having a bathroom in your safe room doesn't make sense because first of all, the hurricane might go too fast. And if it goes very slowly, it's not going to be worthwhile.
So these are all things that we'll be talking about. We'll be bringing up. I can guarantee. Huh? Yes. Okay. All right. So let's move on to these other ones now. So discussion and vote on the resolution to support the charter amendments associated with PART. This came from the Manoa. That's the rail. So did anybody get a chance to read those? So basically, the HART amendments are in relation to, I think, like the board members themselves and like how they're supposed to be structured. And so if you take a look at that, if you guys haven't read this, I kind of need you to we'll table this for next month then. I really need you to take it. So the previous HART member who sits on the Manoa board now says this will make the HART board more efficient and more accountable to whatever actions happen. Quorum easier as well too, and not be so reliant on certain individuals showing up and not showing up. Oh, right. So yeah, so take a look at that. If we're not prepared to discuss that tonight, that's fine. We'll move on. Okay. But if you are, does anybody want to make a motion? Doesn't mean you have to, huh? Okay. Anybody want to second that? Okay, Paul. Okay. Any objections to postponing? Okay. So please read that email, please, and look at that motion. Okay. It kind of makes sense, and it's also from a previous board member of HART who's making that recommendation. Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay, so next one will be resolution to support the conversion of ʻAiea parks to dog-friendly parks, off and on leash, taking into consideration sports-friendly zones. So myself and council member Cordero went and toured pretty much every park in ʻAiea and looked at like where this would be feasible, I guess is the best way to say it, and where there was areas that would support this, that wouldn't encroach upon baseball fields, soccer fields, football fields, those kind of things. So if you saw the resolution I put forward, it basically took into consideration those locations. The mayor's office also put out a request for us to do this as well too. So did you guys happen to take a look at that? Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to go ahead and approve this resolution? What's that? We identified multiple different parks. There's a whole list in the resolution. Yeah. There's a list in the resolution of which parks would be on leash and which parks would be off leash and which parks wouldn't be pet friendly at all. I think there's like 3 parks that are associated with that. So, okay, so we have a motion over here, Lawrence. Okay. Anybody want to second Lawrence's motion on this particular one? Okay, Jane. All right, open for discussion. So anybody want to make a comment? Paul, go ahead.
First of all, let me preface my comments by saying that I love dogs. My dog that passed away a while ago still brings a tear to my eye when I think about that. But I was frankly shocked by the letter from Representative or Cynthia Thielen regarding what is allowed in our parks currently. Because having gone to most of these parks, there's dogs all over the place. Most of them are not on leashes, and we only have 3 of those parks that dogs are allowed on leashes. But you know, there's dogs all over the place, and it's nice to have them run around, but not when you have little kids there. And some of these dogs are not very friendly, and they can ruin the enjoyment of a park for grandparents with grandchildren. And it would be nice to say, oh, don't worry, you know, these people will learn to have their dogs on leash. No, they won't, because they don't do it right now. So expanding the dog friendliness of parks doesn't make any sense when we can't even control things as they are currently. You know, if your dog's on a leash, you don't need really to take them to a park. You know, you can just walk them around the block like most of us do. And it is funny about the ʻAiea Annex Field, which is an ideal place to take your dog and throw things, and they can run for, you know, a couple hundred feet. But dogs aren't allowed there. But if you go there on the weekend, there are always people there having their dogs run free, which is great unless you want to be on the field with the appropriate use of the like a softball little league field in that area. So reluctantly, I would have to be against making any expansion of dog friendliness to parks, even though I would love to have my dog be able to run free, realizing that that's not the safe way to do it for the rest of the community.
So the parks that we would consider as off leash would all have like an area that would be constructed, fencing area that would be constructed, and they would be contained in that fencing area. If you've ever been down to Mauna Lua and underneath the freeway there's a dog park right there where it's fenced in. And those would be the off leash areas. The on leash areas would not have that kind of fencing, like Paul was saying, right? So, okay. And then I think there's 2. Was there 2 or 3, Curtis? I think that was listed as not having any at all, right? Now this is the recommendation, right? Now, if anybody has any objections to any of these particular parks, we can line item it out, right? So take a look at these. Okay, well, so okay, so the resolution would approve off-leash zones be created for Halava District Park, Kahilehi Neighborhood Park, Ka'onohi, hope I'm getting these right, Neighborhood Park, Makalapa Neighborhood Park, Nahili Neighborhood Park, Napunani Neighborhood Park, Okay, guys. Newtown Neighborhood Park and Waimalu Neighborhood Park. Thank you, May, for making me read all this. And then on leash would be ʻAiea District Park, ʻAiea Bay State Park now. That's not a city park. Kelawa, Heiau State Recreation Area and Pearl Ridge Community Park. And then down below would remain no pets allowed would be ʻAiea Field Annex Park, ʻAiea Interim Park, and Le'e Mini Park, which is like super small. It's like this, it's like little tiny thing. It's like about the size of this room. Yeah, it's like right down there. Yeah, yeah. So there you go. Okay. Okay, more discussion. Anybody else want to make comments, concerns, questions? Right? Go ahead.
I think it's gonna be similar to the park they have in Mililani, Malka. They have a dog park there. It's gonna be something like that.
Yeah. It would be something like that. Yes.
Okay, if we could have it separated, so say dogs under 30 pounds can be in an area and dogs over 30 pounds. Because a lot of times people
Yeah.
bring their pit bull to those parks and the little dogs.
So that's a good thing. Could we designate certain parks for over 30 pounds and under 30 pounds? Maybe that might be a good solution to that.
That'd be good.
Paul?
Theoretically, it would be a good solution, but because the rules are not obeyed right now, you're not going to have someone go in there and weigh their dog and say like, oh, good, I just made the weight. Or if the policemen actually do go to assess dogs in a park, which is a waste of their time, you know, the guy's just going to say, oh, I didn't know.
Right.
So yeah, theoretically, that would be a good idea, but if people don't obey the rules as they are currently, they're not going to obey rules that are more specific than like that.
Bernie, you had something to say?
I just wanted to point out the new dog park in Kaka'ako for all those residents there living in high rises. So we're seeing an increase in the number of housing where people live in high rises. And so I think that projecting about growth in our community, it would be nice to have that. And with regard to dogs, whether they're small or big, I think the buzzword here is to be inclusive.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions?
A park, hello, what does a park have? I mean, is it fenced in?
So the on leash ones would definitely be fenced in, right? So
On leash.
yeah, I'm sorry, off leash. Off leash would be fenced in. So if you go down to like Mauna Lua, right, down next to the tennis courts underneath the freeway it has a fenced in park. They have like a water fountain, so you can give the dogs water, that kind of stuff. Now we're not asking that they run water fountains out to these parks, but just a fence in the park with a fence would be for the off leash. On leash would be literally off leash, right? Or on leash. They have to, if they had a dog there, they would have to have it on a leash.
And it's not fenced in.
And it's not fenced in. Yeah, we'll take it here in a second. I'm waiting for her to.
Yeah, I don't know what we're voting on.
So what they're asking for us is to identify which parks we would like to have on leash and which ones we would like to have off leash, and which ones we wouldn't want to have any dogs at all, or pets in particular. I mean, you can walk a duck there, I guess. It's a pet, right? But mostly people have dogs.
We have Nahele Park that I frequent, and many dog owners in Newtown, they have leashes, but as he said, many of them are running around without leashes.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that, that people don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
As much as you want to give them that availability, I agree, people don't follow the rules.
So then that begs the question, right? Do we take a look at the off leash, or I'm sorry, the on leash parks and just convert those to no dogs? Because The on leash, or I mean, I'm sorry, the off leash ones would be contained in a fence. So there's no, because if you go down to like the Honolulu one, there's no dogs running around there, like off leash outside of that fence area. They're fenced in. So would the board be more susceptible to saying the following parks that are authorized on leash be converted to no dogs? Hold on, May. Russell?
Regularly walk. Hey,
Okay.
I'm actually surprised this part is prohibited.
Yeah, this park is prohibited. So, well, it's not a park yet. Yeah, so that's why it's not under consideration.
It's my place where,
Yeah.
when we had COVID, that's where I used to walk my dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. May, you got something you want to say?
My daughter, yeah, and my family's starting to get dogs. When I was little, one bit me, so I won't go near a dog. Is it a law, or they always say, I gotta walk my dog every night? Is that true? Or it's just for the for the health of the dog and the relationship with the owner? But she always said, I gotta walk my dog every night.
I don't know if that's a law or not. I never heard that before. But okay. All right. All right. Jane?
I think that if there were places that had the fenced in areas for the dogs, that the responsible, and yes, you do have to make the leap that people will be responsible owners, but I think that the responsible people might choose to go to a dog park where it's fenced in instead of just letting them run wild at a park.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Hey, community members, Claire?
I have a couple of concerns. I think when you go to every single park and you try and decide whether parks will set aside unleashed area with a fence thing, that is an issue. If you look at neighborhoods, even on the mainland, they have a few designated areas where the dog can run free. And and some of them don't even have grass. They have a couple of water pipes, but they're trees. Some of them are sand, and it's so that the dog can run and be friends with other dogs. They can throw a ball, play with their owners. But I think in reality, if you're trying to set up fenced areas in all these parks as a convenience really for people that might take their dogs there, I think it'd be better to set up areas that are not, well, like Halawa is big. Halawa District Park is very big. And so I can see some areas of that park being a fenced area. But if you're looking at Pro Ridge Field, Waimalu Elementary, to me, like I suggested to you, it would be better to have, like, for instance, like there's a lot of condos that are in that right up from Pro Ridge Shopping Center. There is a wooded area there that already has trees. Could probably put in above the Lutheran school. It's covered. You could put in a water source, and then you would have a dedicated a dog park where the dogs could play. And people who don't want to have, they want to take their dog to an open dog park can do that. And people who want to just take their dog and walk them in the neighborhood or let them off their leash would do that. But if you're trying to set up designated fenced off areas at all these different parks, I think that's going to be hard. And I love dogs too. Allergic, but I love dogs.
I'm allergic too, and I have
Yeah.
two dogs. I'm going through allergy shots right now.
Well, it didn't help, but
Yeah. But I did ask you several times to give me input. You did. Yeah.
so even the area, just up from here, that pathway that's supposed to be a right-of-way area, even if you have use that empty space there as a dog park area,
So out of the list of parks, okay, because that's not a park,
Okay.
that's an area. Let's pull this back up real quick. Curtis?
see, does it have to be at a park?
Yes, because that's what the mayor's office has asked us to provide back provide input back on.
Okay, well, I'd be interested to see what other neighborhoods are doing. Okay, so look at these parks.
So which ones do you have an issue with on this?
Okay, Halawa District Park, you could probably get that. Nakahele Neighborhood Park, that's in your Newtown area. I sit at park meetings all the time to divide up these fields for baseball. And Kahele is actually what we give to the soccer people.
Okay, so here's
Depends how big you're talking about making it and where you're talking about making it. You know, you have to, what are the dimensions of this dog park? You know, you can't.
again, we're voting on a resolution that wouldn't encroach on sports related activities.
It's seasonal, is what I'm saying. So Kahele and Halawa District Park, all of those parks are parks that people use for sports. Is that Makalapa? Makalapa is just getting started now.
Understand.
Nahele is used.
Again, Claire. Like Halawa District Park?
Halawa District Park is a big park.
It is. It's a huge
So,
park.
yes, you could probably designate a part of that park. It wouldn't necessarily be a flat area because it'd be on the mountainside.
So when I went there to look at it, you know where the parking lot is at? Like next to the rec center area?
Yes.
Off to the left, there's like a derelict baseball field area that's not used at all.
Okay.
And there's actually,
You're all wrong. Okay. it's
Okay.
just- What's derelict at that park is the park keeper. That park keeper.
okay. All right.
Park keeper does not upkeep that park.
Okay.
We have homeless people using the bathroom in the dugouts, ripping the gates off the dugouts.
Okay, we're talking about, hold on. We're talking about two different baseball fields
No, we're talking, I know.
because there's no dugouts there. The one I looked at.
A field. Yeah, we're talking to A field.
Yeah. Okay.
Field.
Yeah, there's like a tree. There's like a tree there. There's actually a water fountain like way over there somewhere.
A
Yeah.
field is designated.
Yeah.
I can talk for him. A field is a designated softball field.
Right. Okay.
So that you're gonna,
It didn't look like it was used in a long time.
that's because it's not upkept.
All right.
So I
Okay.
ran a high school league in,
Okay.
at
So regardless, we're kind of going down hold on, Claire, we're going down a rabbit hole here.
Okay.
So let's just say, out of these parks, where's the recommendation from you?
I would say you could go, for Halawa, you would have to go on the upside, which is a.
Okay, so that's one. What else?
Makalapa, Makalapa, I don't know, I mean, maybe the neighborhood would support that, but Makalapa is right next to Puwaimomi, right? Which is the low-income housing area.
Makalapa is a huge park too. That
I
has
know.
nothing in it.
Makalapa used to be a.
And you're telling me that it's used considerably?
No. Makalapa used to be a baseball field, but the people in the housing area did not like people coming into their area using it, so they.
Okay, that's
bring-
nice.
bring-
Are they paying for that?
They're not, but this is a reality. Are you gonna take your dog, or are people gonna take their dog to?
No, what I'm gonna do is authorize the use of that to be able to have dogs in that facility, in that area.
Okay, I mean, if you want to try and do that, you can. I'm just telling you in reality. Okay, is that helping? Come up.
Yeah, please.
Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Community member. I have grandsons that play baseball
Mhm.
and that practice in the ʻAiea Halawa community.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing, I'm not against dogs, but I'm guessing before this gets finalized, you guys will have something, a proposed location and how big and everything.
Yeah, so basically what's gonna happen is that we're gonna say, we want these parks to have dogs, right? Or these type of, on leash, off leash kind of thing. Then the city's gonna go in and take a look at that park and say, okay, what's feasible? What can we put, fencing around in this area that won't encroach on sports related activities? Okay. And then also what's feasible for on leash, right? Like, is the park big enough to have on-leash capability here. And if it's not, then they're not going to approve it, right?
Okay.
But they're just going to take our recommendation as like to look at these parks for these particular purposes.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we have fields in particular, Waimalu Neighborhood Park.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know where the proposed area would be,
Mhm.
but there's baseball games there every Saturday and Sunday. And it's not a very big park.
Mhm.
And when one game is going on, the other teams show up an hour before and they're warming up. They're using whatever space is around that field to warm up. So I can't see putting some kind of fenced off dog area in that park.
I don't, did we say that Waimalu was going to have a off-leash area? Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, off-leash, okay. Okay.
Before it gets finalized.
Yeah.
I think there should be some community input.
So, well, this is the community input, right? So, how about we do this? Can we change the resolution to make Waimalu Neighborhood Park an on-leash park recommendation? Or off-leash? I mean, I'm sorry, not off-leash, but no dogs, no dogs at all. Because that's what it currently is, no dogs.
I'm okay with one. if people
Okay.
don't want it. That doesn't bother me.
Okay.
If you built a fence.
That would encroach on the sports-related activities.
When activities are going.
Right. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments? Mike.
On certain afternoons, Newtown is designated for dog activities. They have dog lessons. Same with ʻAiea District Park. There's a certain night that they used to have dog obedience classes there at the park. Okay, but
Okay, so
I guess I'm wondering why there's a change. If you're talking about making a
I'm
dog.
not going to get into that. Claire.
Okay, but I guess if you want to make a dog park that's really dog friendly, then you would find a place.
Well, that's the point of this.
Yeah, but you found many places as opposed to finding an open space.
Because people live in many different places in ʻAiea, and we have a pretty large geographical area to cover.
Okay, well, just,
I mean, we're not, we're not a small community in terms of land space.
I understand that. But you see,
Yeah.
whereas Mauna Loa's Park, it's underneath the freeway.
Absolutely, I know, but it's in a park. Next to the tennis courts, literally next to the tennis courts.
That's fenced,
That's fenced,
yes.
and they're off leash.
But nobody plays baseball anywhere. Okay, I'm not,
People play baseball in that area?
no, they don't.
Oh, okay, because I didn't think so either.
Yeah, no, they
Okay.
don't.
All right, so how about we do this then? The following parts should be should be considered or should be reviewed as potential off-leash zones. Something like that kind of wording. Even when there's fencing involved?
How many articles are paper with dogs attacked? How can they put them in a park when they can't? Dogs are attacked. It's. Yeah, away.
But they're going to be fenced if they're off leash. Yeah, they are.
Not on leash. Well, every dog has to have leash, right? Okay.
No.
I don't.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and vote for this because we're running up with 5 more minutes here and we still got community concerns. This took a little longer than I thought it was going to take. Okay. So all in favor of this resolution, just say aye. Aye. As written. Unless you want to change it.
Baseball, softball.
But that's what the resolution considers, right? It won't put parks in the places where there's sports activity. As is. So if there's sports activity at that particular location that would be encroached upon by a dog park, okay, then it would remain as is. It wouldn't be, there wouldn't be a dog park.
All these parks are used for some kind of sports activity.
But not all the area is used for sports activity.
But when you have the dead area, you have the other team coming in, they're gonna be practicing in that dead area. So they're gonna look at that dead
I
area
think-
as.
I think you
not
kind of
being
need to go
used.
take a look at some of these parks where there's a huge amount of space that has no sports activity associated with it.
My son used to play baseball too, and let me tell you, he could throw the ball like at least 250, 300 feet when he
Right.
did his long toss. That
Right,
takes up the whole field.
right. Okay. But if you go take a look at like, the Lake, whatever that, yeah. Yeah, you go take a look at that park, there's a huge amount of area that, I don't care how far your kid's hitting that ball. It's like up a hill, over some trees, through some hills, okay? And like, that's unreasonable. It's kind of like an unreasonable request.
So they have no sports on that field.
There's just what this resolution is addressing is that if a dog park, we're talking off leash, okay, so that'd be fencing, okay, encroaches upon a sports related activity, then it's not to be considered.
I don't see that in your resolution, though.
Yeah, it does. Go up to the top. Scroll down a little bit. Go down. Okay, maybe you're right. So can we add that terminology in there? Okay.
I'll adopt it as amended, but I'd prefer we just look at one park for now, see how it goes. And if they're successful and everybody's happy, we can look at other parks. But say you do the one park and you say, hey, you guys not using this area, and come football season, the kids come down to practice football, but they have a dog park over there now.
Can we do more than one though? Can we do one, let's say one off leash, one off leash and then keep the on leash ones?
Yeah, just for now, because just see how it goes, because I think if you
Okay.
throw all these parts in, you're gonna have a lot of people that are not gonna be happy.
Okay,
Little
so,
kids.
so these are the parks right here. Look up here.
Actually, I heard Claire, let's try to look at Halava for the off leash.
Okay, okay, yeah, we can look at that one. Okay, and then, well, the on leash ones we keep as listed?
I would like to make an amendment that we keep the status quo with dogs on leash and unleashed as we had on that previous slide.
This one?
Keep it as is. However, investigate the possibility of using a part of Halava District Park, which is big, for an off-leash area with a fence surrounding it.
Okay. Can we go back to that list again real quick? We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parks to 3 parks with dog privileges. You're saying keep the status quo that way.
Yeah, because as I said very early in discussion, most people are ignoring that anyway. But I think what is really needed for people is to have an off-leash place for their dogs to run around with, which would require having a fencing around that area. And I think we can see the community response to that off-leash fenced-in area before having too many places opened up for dogs.
Okay, so we're talking 13 parks? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're talking 13 parks here, okay, that have privileges. Would you be open to adding 3 more parks, okay, with on leash privileges, okay, and one more park with off leash. I mean, we're trying to compromise here. That's the
Yeah,
point.
I understand, but my compromise would be just keep things as they are because, and see if we can actually get enforcement of the current rules. Because we can't really say that we can enforce the current rules, opening things wide open would be inappropriate. So I would say, let's see what happened right now with construction, because it's going to cost money to put a fence up too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like we have all sorts of money to throw away for putting fencing up around these areas. So I'm saying as a project, a trial project, one of the, I'm not familiar with Makalapa, but I am familiar with Halava. There is a lot of area there. So they could reasonably construct a fenced in off leash area, and we can see what the cost is, what the community response is to having that
For the off leash.
for the off leash and
And
Halava.
on leash.
Keep it as it is.
Is there a second?
Can we, hold on. Can we go back to the resolution?
Yes.
Okay.
You're also running over the
Oh, I know, Jesus. Okay, so the ones that are proposed here, ʻAiea District Park, ʻAiea Bay State Park, and the rest of them here. Can we make a compromise here and do off leash for the ʻAiea District Park and the Pearl Ridge Community Park? I know you're gonna say no, but can we, let's go ahead and let's make that, let's remove the state parks out of there and the state recreation area. Mhm. Okay. 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 All right. So let's make the resolution this, remove everything out of the off leash zones except for Halava District Park. Yep. We'll leave the on leash areas to those two in particular. And then the off leash, or I mean, the no dogs at all would be, remain as those three right there. Okay. So that's the resolution going forward. Anybody want to make a motion to amend or Lawrence, you got to make the motion to amend it to represent this.
I make the motion to amend.
Okay. All right. Anybody want to second that motion? Paul? Okay. All right. Let's do a vote. Ayes. Aye. Aye. Okay. Anybody object? No objections? Okay. Resolution is passed. Good way to compromise, guys. That was good. Okay, real quick. We need to do this one too, real quick. Discussion and vote on authorizing speed safety studies along Kahupani Street and Lupele Street and Salt Lake Boulevard and Kahuapani Street and Cam Highway. This was requested by Casey Abbey. So they need to do that study, that speed safety study, to be able to put in the speed bumps, basically. Anybody want to make a motion for that? Okay, Paul. Okay, anybody want to second that? Jane, any objections or open discussion? Any discussions? Okay, go ahead and vote. We'll just go, any objections to this resolution? Okay, nothing heard, resolution passed. Okay, Honolulu Charter Commission, please go to that site and add your input if you can, okay? And then, all right, community concerns. I know some of the community members have been here a while. Yeah, please hurry. I'm already keeping him 5 minutes past his normal, his bed. Yeah.
What I'm here for is my Malu Neighborhood Park.
Okay.
And I was told maybe to bring this up to my community board.
Mhm.
If we could try to get the bathrooms locked up at night.
Oh.
There's a big homeless problem there. There's drug use going on in that bathroom over there.
This is at Waimalu? Okay.
So, yeah, I think Val Okimura knows about it because I didn't know who to go to. My first approach, I went to the city parks.
Yeah.
District 5, and They said there's a list because they hire, the city hires a contracting company to come and do these lockups at designated restrooms.
Right.
Park restrooms. Waimalu is not one of them, I was told, on the list.
What time do they lock them up?
I don't know. Yeah, whatever
Okay,
time the
at park
park
closure?
supposedly
Bathrooms at park
closes.
closure? Okay. All right, yeah.
I don't know if you can guide.
Yeah,
me
yeah.
to See, or
You
if.
got my email address?
Yeah. yeah.
Okay,
So
just
I
send me
was like,
an
I had
email.
emailed you if I could come to this meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Send me, oh, that's right, you did. So, okay, I got it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, anything else? You two, come on up. You guys are regular members. Might as well, we got an open position. Why don't you just go ahead and like,
Maybe I'll take it.
yeah, Joe left, so now you can just fill in.
Okay, so the Newtown residents, yeah, we're requesting, because
The
Catholic.
RPZ, yeah?
No,
Oh.
Catholic Charities Hawaii's status in the building of a fence around the perimeter of their special treatment facility on Kekealani
Okay, the
Street.
status, yeah.
Because I believe during the past ʻAiea board meetings, it was disclosed that donations were already solicited from the community specifically for Catholic Charities Hawaii to build a fence.
Yep.
Okay, on September 10th, the residents followed up with the staff at the Newtown Estates Community Association on the permit status of this fence, and we still are waiting for a response. Catholic Charities Hawaii is operating a special treatment facility business out of a residential zone property. Therefore, the residents are anticipating that the Newtown Estates Community Association, through a variance, will approve a fence that completely surrounds the perimeter of this facility, including a gate fronting the street. Okay, just to let everybody know, there are residences in Newtown Estates that have fences built completely surrounding the perimeter with gates in the front, fronting the street.
I'll get with Shannon. I'll get you guys an
Okay,
answer.
thank you, because my
Okay.
next thing was, if you heard anything from Catholic Charities or the Newtown Estates Board.
Right now, we're waiting on you guys to do the community safety action plan, the response back. I have not gotten a response back from you folks on that. But I will reach out to Shannon about the status of the fencing.
Yes.
And I'll give you guys an update on that.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, anything else? Okay, sorry, Curtis. I know you're getting sleepy over there. Okay, so milk and cookies this time. Okay, announcements. Next meeting will be done due to Veterans Day on Tuesday, November 11th. Neighborhood Board has rescheduled the meeting to November 18th. So, so be aware of that. And with that, meeting's adjourned. And I thought we were so good on time until we